Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the recovery addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their court.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're getting commentary on the case. Dahil mihi Anglican for each service Latinos. I didn't ask you to interrupt me.
All right, hold on. Okay, seats working now. Commands are working now. Sorry about the delay. You have to restart all your commands.
Back, taking it easy.
I'm not a camel.
Bring the jury.
Now we're ready. Sorry, I was just feeling the music today and didn't want to interrupt it very much. Almost ready. Mic's a little loose, but other than that, we'll be okay. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I'm the Recovery Addict. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Thank you especially to Missy D. Moo, or is Missy Double D Moo, I think it is. Welcome, Missy. I do have to say thank you so much for your understanding yesterday, your kindness and appreciation, or we appreciate your kindness in understanding that we accidentally muted you yesterday on the live stream. It was an accident. We've had a couple accidents in the past. Our mods do an amazing job, but sometimes when chat gets very busy, the wrong person gets clicked on. And unfortunately, that was you yesterday. Thank you so much for understanding that it was an accident. We were able to fix it quickly. After a few minutes anyway. Let's see. Other than that, who's ready? Who's ready to begin? I am. I'm ready. Good day. Oh, there's a buffer already. What's the buffer for? No, it's for Jacko. I'm not sure what the buffer is. I don't think you can do it, Jacko. Only
I'm not a camel.
Only the mods can trigger the buffer sound effect. Unfortunately, let's see. Defense counsel needs to get a Build-A-Bear to snuggle with instead of LS. Oh my goodness. LS's behavior yesterday has blown up on the internet. Everybody is talking about what she was doing with her attorney, Mr. Cook, how she was behaving.
No dead horse go unbeaten.
It was so bad. It was so bad. Oh my goodness. I don't know where to even start there. Will the judge address it? Hopefully. Hopefully something happens today. Maybe the judge has thought it over, and I need to move my mug before I took this on my laptop. Yeah. Anyway, the judge, I think, will address it here soon. I'm not sure why that is where it is. There we go. A little bit better. Okay. Where to start today? I've got a few things on my list. Just a couple notes. You can't see it, but they're there. Even if you could see it, I don't think you could read it. I have doctor's handwriting. Practiced for years to get this right. It's almost like my own little shorthand.
Kick back, taking it easy.
Here's what we're gonna do. Let's start at the top of the list. Let's see. Okay, we've got. We're going to talk about Letecia's behavior here. We're going to come around to that in just a minute. I have heard some rumblings from possible insiders. I say possible insiders because I can't verify their authenticity.
As well.
They seem to be quoted by people who have a fairly good reputation as far as getting good source material. That Letecia is thinking about testifying, like leaning strongly towards testifying. And I looking at it in that light, looking at it that decision may have already been made, and she says yes, she wants to testify. I have to wonder, what does she have to lose at this point? The case is pretty much already over, right? It's her attorney said that during the opening statements. They said it's a done deal, right? You've already decided this. What does she have to lose by testifying? Squirrel. And what does she have to gain by testifying? And I think the only thing she has to gain by testifying is people thinking she's crazy. And she really has nothing to lose because they already think she's guilty. That's my take. I'd like to hear your take on that anyway. Okay, let's see. Deborah sent me a couple texts last night on the burner phone and asked me to address them. I wanted to do that here. Let's see. First of all, Deborah, thank you for the text. Let's see if I can pull it up.
At the courtroom and on my day.
Who was that? Wait for it. Where's...
Okay. Now Murdoch stole it.
Sue Fernandez, you're at the courtroom on your birthday. Sue, that is awesome. Okay, birthdays was on my list, but Sue, I wasn't ready for that. See, Sue Fernandez at the courtroom. That is awesome. Okay, Sue, we'll put you on the birthday list for just a minute. Let me hold tight for just a minute. Let me see if I can get Deborah's questions here. She says, okay, have questions about the Stauch case.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
I do that a lot. Was Gannon's body in the Volkswagen or downstairs storage room when the police came on 127? When the police came on 127, that was when she had reported Gannon had not come home from a friend's house. So they were doing just a very quick check, and they checked through the house. I believe at that time,
kick back, taking it easy.
Gannon's body was in the suitcase in the back of the Tiguan. That's my understanding. I have heard, I don't remember seeing this on the body cam video that was shown, but I have heard that the suitcase can be seen briefly in the back of the Tiguan, even though they didn't open it up and inspect it. So that's...
Ilona just sent a super sticker with 4.99.
Ilona, thank you very much for the super sticker. It's going great this morning. So that's question number one. Also, can you see the box cutter in that video? I don't remember if you can see the box cutter or if they just talk about the box cutter and how Al let him use it or something like that. But it definitely was referenced to that time frame. You can hear Letecia mention it on the body cam, right? I thought they would not have released Dr. Torres in case of rebuttal. Thoughts? Typically, rebuttal witnesses are not the same witness again. Dr. Torres is going to testify to everything that's in her report, and she's sort of limited to that. She can speculate a little bit, but I think if she had something to say about DID, she's going to say it. She would have said it already. So they wouldn't really have her as an expert. It would probably be a separate expert on rebuttal, is my take on that. Let's see. Lastly, if you make any Believe Tisha Mode merch, I thought it could be red and black and maybe inside a circle with a line through it, like no smoking. Okay. Thank you very much. Great comments, Deborah. Thank you very much for your questions. I appreciate that very much. As always, the burner phone is open. I do try to read all the messages. I try to respond to as many as I can. But it is getting harder now to do that because there are more of you, and still we're just one of me. Last count, still one of me. Okay, so Deborah, we got your questions out of the way. Let's see. We do have. I'm not sure. Is Amber in the house? Amber, paging Amber, Calypson's Vixen. Are you there? Let me scroll through chat just a little bit. She might not be here yet. She has real life duties to perform as well. So, welcome to the gallery, Gagarowski.
I don't consent to that name.
You probably don't consent to that name because I butchered it. But thank you so much for joining. Thank you for becoming a member. Let's see. Oh, Amber's on the phone. Amber, can you hear me?
Good morning.
Good morning, Amber. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm not sure. I went. I went to the post office this morning, and there was a package for me from you, which you have insisted that I open up live on air, and I'm nervous.
Yes, because I wanted to see your reaction.
Squirrel. Really, Amber? Okay, let's see. Okay, here's what we have. So I am by myself. My family, my wife has taken all the kids. They've gone into Raleigh.
Back, taking it easy.
So they're gone. So you will just get my reaction. Ooh, it tears nicely. Comes with an easy open top. No tools needed. I like that. Fold job was pretty nice. Crisp corner there. What am I? This could be bad.
Alex stole it as well.
Just keep Friday night's podcast in mind, okay?
Okay, there's a whole bunch of papers. A whole bunch.
Pull those out first.
Love what you do. Thanks for being so cool, R.A.
Sure.
Okay, give me just 1 second. Okay, there's a whole bunch of papers. One says, a gift from you, for all those good ideas when you're drinking milk from Calypso's Vixen. And then it has another, a gift from you for when you just fed up. Oh, my goodness. Fed up has a reference, Amber. I'm not sure. Okay. I told a story about trimming some trees on the podcast one time where I trimmed them into the initials for being fed up. Just because my neighbors were not being very nice. For when you need some milk, just from, okay. Here we go. I'm not going to stall any longer. Okay, we have, it looks like a cow of some sort.
Don't forget, there's one piece that's missing.
There's a piece that's missing, great. For when you're utterly fed up, I have a cow, a squishy cow. You guys, let's go full screen here. I just dropped everything else. For when I'm utterly fed up, I have this cow, which I guess you squish and the udder bulges. Thankfully, it does not make a noise when you squish it, but
the package literally says when you're utterly.
Here, let me. First of all, it's a green package, so you have to see it over here. Sorry, give me 1 second. For when I'm utterly.
Everybody in the chat is getting my humor.
Utterly fed up. Okay, I dropped everything else on the floor. Hold on, just 1 second. There's more items.
I really hope Thomas is watching.
I think there's a book. Do we save the book till last? I'm feeling around.
No, you can.
Okay, here goes the book. Brilliant ideas I had while drinking milk. This is a great little book. Oh, it's empty. Okay, so this I can make notes while drinking milk. It's like a journal for milk lovers, which I am. Amber, thank you very much. This will be great for keeping notes during the podcast. I appreciate that. And this last item.
There's a theme here.
I was kicked back, taking it easy.
Is a stainless steel milk flask for my hip pocket. It's a screw top, so I can swig to my heart's content, and everyone will know that it's not what they think it is. So. And supposedly there's something else that's coming as well. So.
Yeah, there was one piece of this that wouldn't be delivered with everything else, so it'll be there on Thursday.
I cannot wait. Amber, thank you. This poor cow is probably going to receive all the abuse and use it would ever be designed to take during Letecia's trial. If she does today what she did yesterday, this cow is just going to burst. It's going to pop. And it's going to be. Anyway, this is good. This is good. Amber, good choices.
I tried to go practical.
They are practical. They're all three of them are things I would use and regularly use. Name the cow. Miss Kim says, or Miss Skim, I think we're going to call it M Skim in honor of the cow. We're going to call you that. M Skim. What would the cow be named? I don't know. Do we do wrong answers only and then choose the best one, or do we go with proper?
Real quick.
I'm over here just squeezing the cow. I cannot get enough of this. I think I might have whatever it is that requires me to fidget while I'm talking and thinking. It does not pop. It's very durable. I mean, this cow it can stretch and pull and push and mush and to your heart's content. Let's see, Marie. We all need a moo.
For when you're fed up.
when I'm fed up. Unholy Saint, thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the gallery. I think I missed somebody back there just a little bit. There might have even been a super sticker. I'm sorry if I missed that. Let me see. Does it? I'm not sure if it shows up. See, we had a super sticker from Ilona. Sorry, we got that one. And we got the members. Sorry, no ads. Gagarowski and Unholy Saint 88. Okay, so maybe I didn't miss one. If I did miss you, I do apologize for that. That was not my intent. I was a little distracted by by the cow. Mutisha. 6 Foot Bus comes in with Mutisha. What a name. Moody the cow.
I just saw another one saying cash cow.
Cash cow. This is my cash cow. Love it. These are great. Utterance. Unexpected utterance, or what is that called?
Utterly addicted.
Utterly. Jeannie Peters, welcome to the gallery. Look what you walked in on. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing this morning. Maria, Milky, Maple Moo is great suggestions. Miss Kim, Baby Bear loves the cow.
Cartel
Maria,
cow.
Cartel cow. Oh my goodness, Roberta, welcome to the gallery. This is a crazy place. Welcome. Apparently, joining now means you're crazy with us, so that's a good thing. You're with friends.
Oh man.
Wrong answers only, says keep guessing. Hershey M. Quick is the cow's name. There's a good one. Utter McUtter face. Tupac. Oh my goodness. Caltisha is a good one. Miss Pickles. Do a poll to name the cow. We only have 4 options on a poll. Lego My Brief says, all night long my brain was saying, you're talking about something that is not relevant. Man. Maria for sure. Lactose Letecia. Yada yada. Oh my goodness. There are so many good names. I love the cash cow. The cash cow is just funny. It does look like it's going to have a little baby cash cow as well. Cash calf. Mupak. Mupak. Okay, we need the best 4. Amber, since you sent the gift, if you can pick the best 4, we're going to go ahead and put those in a poll. Let's start a poll here. What should the fed up cow?
No, I really got to be able to watch the chat. Lisa said Heifer Park.
I can't even hear you, Amber. You're laughing too hard. What was it? Mupak? You want Mupak on there?
Mupak has to be on there, okay. But Lisa Wilmot said Heifer Park. That one's not
Mupak's
going
on there for
I
sure.
love you, Lisa, but that's not.
I think
Mupak is going to go up there.
I think Cash Cow has to be on there.
Cash Cow has to be on there.
Okay. We had. Let's Hudguardo. Mutisha.
Maria.
There was a Maria. Let's see. We've got 2 more options to put on there. Muguardo.
Oh gosh. I'm still looking through chat.
Okay. Utterguardo. What is that?
That doesn't roll off the tongue quite as easy.
It is a hard one to. I would mess it up. Is what would happen. Utter butter.
Caltisha.
Do you want? We've got Mupak, Cash Cow. Utterly nonsense. Let's see. Letecia, Moody, Pickles. I think maybe there was a variance of Maria. I think Maria. Heather Barnett. What do you think about Maria?
I do too. I like
Maria.
Maria. Letecia.
What's our 4th one? Last choice. Let's see this. Okay, spicy maple moo. Where's Eduardo? Jasper the Vampire Cow. Okay. I think maybe I just pick one at random. I sort of liked the spicy maple moo. Sort of welcomes it to the channel, like associated also with the pickle. So let's put that on there. Spicy maple moo. Okay. And I spelled spicy wrong. There we go. Okay, here we go. The poll is up. The results are binding. Whichever wins, we will stick with, and this utterly fed up cow will be called that forevermore on the channel. Which I think he's going to sit right up here. Can you guys see him right there? No, not very much. As long as he doesn't push any buttons, he can stand on the switcher. I guess is it he? It's got to be a she. I think we have to agree that this is a she. Just for
she's a heifer.
Yeah, it's a she.
She's not a bull. She's a heifer.
Right. The udder is what determines everything for me. So, all right. So
did I ruin the whole opening of packages on stream, or was I okay?
You were okay.
I think
you were
was okay.
I'm a little concerned about putting milk in here and maybe keeping it in my back pocket, letting it get warm, and then going ahead and trying to take a swig and poisoning myself. But
it was more of a funny kind of thing. But I figured everything was practical, and
it is.
Usually most of the gifts you get to take part in the funny of the initial opening, and then the kids get to play with it. Well, this you could actually use for this.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell them about this. I mean, the cow, I'm going to have to guard carefully because they will take that thing in a heartbeat. I've already told them that the pickle is off limits. The pickle sits on the desk, and they're not allowed to take that. But the cow is going to have a sacred spot, a sacred cow spot on the desk as well. Good job, Amber. Thank you so much. By the way,
I'm glad I made your day, Annie Marie. I had this plotted since Friday night's podcast.
That was awesome.
I have been anxiously awaiting, and was really hoping you would not open it.
You told me not to. I'm obedient, if nothing else. But Amber, thank you so much. I appreciate the gifts. The kids are going to love them and then hate that I won't let them play with them. But they belong here on the desk. Thank you, Amber.
I'd love to hear what Mrs. R.A. has to say, because I have a feeling she's going to die laughing.
Mrs. R.A. is like, you're getting a P.O. box? Then people will send you stuff. I'm like, yeah, that was the point. They wanted to send something, and I don't want to give out my address. That's not smart to do on the internet. But she's like, yeah, but it will be crap. She says, they're going to send you crap. And I said, no, you don't know these people. They're good. You did not disappoint, Amber. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. It's going to be
certainly welcome.
It's going to be a great day in chat. Probably busy because we're getting towards the end of court. It always gets busy when we're at approaching verdict watch and the numbers go crazy. On that note, Amber, I'll let you go back to mod work or whatever else you're doing today. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks for calling in as well. We'll catch you later.
Have a good day, y'all. See you in chat.
Bye. In light of that, talking about how busy it's going to be today, just know that a lot of people who come into chat don't know that we're a fun, friendly group, that we can have disagreements, but we sort of we're friends afterwards. They don't understand that. Utter Butter is still on the screen. I like that one. The poll is still running. I think Cash Cow is barely in the lead. But pick now or forever hold your peace. As it gets crowded, just know if there are some people come in that are just causing problems and making some noise, know that our mods are working overtime, taking care of it. Just ignore them. That works best. If there is somebody you do have to block, blocking them is fine, and just do it quietly. You don't have to tell everyone that you blocked so-and-so or how to block them. We will take care of any problems that come in, which they rarely come in, but usually it's right around verdict time that they do. So just a heads up there. If for some reason you find yourself suddenly timed out, and you don't know why, because you didn't do anything wrong, please don't be offended. Just know that as chat is scrolling by very quickly, because we cannot slow down chat for members. That's one of the perks for members. You get to chat very quickly, and there are a lot of members here. sometimes the wrong name gets clicked on, or adjacent name to a message that we tried to eliminate got clicked on. And just know that we can fix it. You can always reach out to me on
taking it easy.
You can always reach out to me on the burner phone, and if there's a problem, we can get it squared away. But please don't be offended if we accidentally time you out, and if we did it on purpose. Please don't be offended either. We just giving you a little reminder to sort of steer back to on topic. As we get really busy, we try to keep the conversation as close to the case as possible, because multiple conversations on fringe topics are very difficult to follow, and people start getting offended, thinking one response is about their conversation, and it just goes crazy. So just hold tight, buckle up, because today's going to be a fun day. Okay, we have a couple things. First of all, Sue, it's Sue's birthday. Is there anyone else whose birthday it is today? I will warn you, I don't think I have it in me to sing this morning, but I'll play the song if we have birthdays. So Sue Fernandez in court. Sue, and I believe you're in Colorado Springs in court. Is that correct? Or are you in? I'm trying to remember if you were in your own. Because we have a couple of members that are serving on the jury right now in a different case as well. Can you explain what happened with Letecia yesterday? Crystal, yes. Letecia specifically towards the second half of the day, her hands got very active. I did not see any deliberate flip-offs, although there were brief, like a single frame or two where you could... I've got to turn that off. Hang on. That party horn has got to go. Hold tight. We're going to get that squared away. I keep forgetting to do that. Party horn, commands. Party is off. Cut it. Okay. Yeah, we'll turn it on when there's a big thing. Candace Boa, welcome to the gallery. Thank you for becoming a member. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Katrina, let's see. It's Grandma Nancy's birthday today. Okay. Do we see any other birthdays today before we? Let's see. I'm not seeing. You have to speak quickly. Let's see. Dale. Where's Dale? I did not see Dale's message. It's not your birthday, so Diet Coke. Dale, I didn't see your message, but I'll put down Dale. I've got 3. Is there anybody else?
I'm not a camel.
It is Dale's birthday, says Lindsay. Jules O says, do you think Backpack Lawyer is crazy as LS, or is he trying to keep her unstressed so no breakdowns happen? If he's trying to keep her unstressed, this is the wrong way to do it.
Do you think Backpack Lawyer is crazy as LS, or is he trying to keep her unstressed so no breakdowns happen?
I can see that you're trying to keep her, contained so she doesn't get triggered by something, but doing that and having outbursts that are so bad that the prosecution calls you out during the middle of their presentation saying, Judge, I'm not sure what's so funny, but I keep getting interrupted by people to my left, and then ignoring the guy and just keep going on. It's crazier. Granddaughter Maddie's birthday, 22 years old. Number 1 grandma. Congratulations on your granddaughter's birthday. Okay. I think we're gonna, let's see, it's my son James's birthday as well. We'll start the music for this. Happy anniversary as well. Lots of birthdays. Okay, so while it's going, I just wanted to personally, while the music is going, I want to personally wish a couple people birthdays. It looks like we have Sue Fernandez, Grandma Nancy, Dale, Maddie, and was James' birthday as well. Hope all of you have an absolutely fantastic birthday. Thank you, Kay, for the tip. Appreciate that. It'll go right in the tip jar. We need a tip jar next to the cow. That's what we need. I'm running out of space on my desk, though. Do you think his behavior will affect his career in future cases? It could. But at the same time, I don't know if it rises to the level of being reprimanded. What happened between Letecia and attorney? Yes, happy birthday to all. Happy birthday. Hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you for spending your birthday with us. As a matter of fact, it's wonderful that you choose to be here on your birthday. Lisa says, "What happened between Letecia and attorney? They huddled up. Some people use the word canoodling. Some people used other words that I won't use, but they got really close around a laptop, almost like their heads were almost touching as they were leaning in, sharing the laptop, and just having a good laugh. And it looked to me like they were watching something change on the screen, and then as things would come on the screen that they found humorous, they would laugh simultaneously together about whatever happened on the screen. It did not appear to me that they were scrolling through pages. I know Letecia did not appear at any point to ever touch the laptop, but I've heard that they were reading the searches she made on Google, like probably the complete list, not just the list that is shared in trial. They parsed that down quite a bit from like 4,000 something searches. Apparently, the one thing Letecia does a lot of is search on Google for things. But so they maybe were reading that and finding things that were funny, but it did not look good. As we're basically going through the timeline of the events that that led up to, included, and happened after Gannon's murder. Her defense lawyer and her are just having a good laugh and just openly just laughing everything. There was also a time where she mouthed some words. We think that she was wishing Harley a happy birthday. We believe was her birthday yesterday, and she mouthed those words very openly to the camera, and that happened yesterday as well. Just a lot of things happened behavior-wise that the judge looked very stern about and not very pleased about, but he did not take any actions that we're aware of regarding them. There was one point when he called the counsel and the bailiff up to talk briefly, but we did not get to hear what that was about, and there was no comment in open court about it afterwards. Do you think the judge know about her mouthing something yesterday? I think he does now. I believe that, first of all, the defense usually is how he finds out. So defense would have received contact from somebody because they have people that watch the trial and they watch the chat. It's something they do. We know that lawyers tend to watch the chat because oftentimes it gives them an idea of what the jury's thinking as the public views something as well. So that probably happened, and I'm sure he knows, and it probably will be talked about this morning. Even if the judge says there was no real line that was crossed, I think that the prosecution is going to bring it up. Did the prosecutor really say that? Insane if he had to do that. He did, Christy, and the judge said nothing and defense said nothing, and he just continued. But I think they were quieter about their laughing, but their behavior was still laughing and smiles and knowing looks and longing glances. I don't know. That's what it looked like to me anyway. Can the prosecution file ethics charges against the backpack lawyer? Possibly, but I don't know if it rises. I don't know if it rises to the level of being an offense. Okay, it might be in bad taste, it might be bad form, but we might need a lawyer to come in and say, hey, this is what line they crossed in the sand that he should never cross. If they were reviewing evidence and they found it funny, that's just bad taste. If they were watching the live stream, that could be a line because Letecia, as a witness, may not be allowed to watch that sort of thing. And now she's been able to watch everything else, so maybe she's allowed to. I don't know. It seems like that would be closer to chat is not showing on the screen. I've missed all your chats. I've been clicking on every single chat. Everyone who's chatted this morning, just know that I've clicked on every single one of them. I apologize. I was trying to click on messages. I missed. Did I miss Kay's tip as well? Let's see. Thank you for that. I apologize that chat was not on the screen. That was my fault. I left it off since I turned off the party noise. What is the ding doing? Okay, I know what that is. All right. Poll to guess how late backpack lawyer will be today. We'll have to wrap up this poll first. We've got half an hour before court starts, so we can do that. Let's see. I'm going to give you just a minute. We're naming the cow. Amber sent in a cow. It's a fed up cow that you can squeeze when things are not going your way or when you're frustrated at what Letecia's doing. We're going to end the poll here in about 15 seconds, so get your votes in on that one. Honestly, it doesn't matter what they were watching. That was disrespectful. Tiny Ruiz, I agree. It was not appropriate in court. Even if you're innocent, okay, to sit there and be 30 feet away from families who are grieving their lost child who you are accused of killing. I mean, even if you're innocent, just have a little respect for the system. First of all, have a little respect for the judge, decorum in court. Have some respect for the family and their grieving process. I don't show up at a funeral and start juggling and be like, hey guys, check out these tricks. It's just not appropriate to do that, and they were not appropriate either. Let's see. It's going to be an interesting day, very much so. Okay, we're going to go ahead and close out this poll really quickly, and the poll, whatever result wins, is the winner. Let's see what we have. We have Cash Cow, 35%, Maria, 29%, Moo Pack with 18%, and Spicy Maple Moo with a lonely 16% out of 1,100 votes. So Cash Cow it is. We have a Cash Cow, which you can give a squeeze, and maybe it will give birth to a little cash baby. I don't know. Thank you very much, Amber, for the Cash Cow. Letecia was my favorite, but Maria will work. It's going to be Cash Cow, unfortunately, Taz. Sorry about that. You needed to convince a few more people to vote with you. Very disrespectful for a lawyer to be late. Let's do a poll on that. He has been late, I believe. What did I say yesterday? Did I think about 6 times in court throughout these weeks where he's now, and sometimes, if you look back at Alex Murdaugh trial, you might have had Harpootlian who comes in late, but oftentimes they were, out talking with witnesses or something in the hall. I don't think that's the case on any of these late or tardy events by Mr. Cook. Mr. Cook comes in with his backpack on and a coffee mug and looks like he just ran from his Uber. Not like he just finished consulting with a witness or talking with family or something like that. So I believe that he is just genuinely late. So let's do a quick poll. Will Mr. Cook yes, 5 to 10 minutes. Yes, 1 to, let's see, 0 to 5 minutes, or no. So 3 options. Does that work? Yes, 5 to 10 minutes. Yes, 0 to 5 minutes, or no, he will not be late. So let's delete this option.
Are we going to address subject matter jurisdiction?
Okay, the poll is up. I thought it was a real cow and she wanted a cute name so she wouldn't be sad. Nope. Let's see. Good morning, Arkansas Magnet Fisher. Good to have you here. I have neglected to do roll call a couple times this morning, but the attendance has grown so quickly in the mornings that I feel I would miss the vast majority of people.
I'm not a camel.
I theorize Mr. Cook rides a bicycle and hence the backpack and smell check grinning face with squinting eyes.
Crystal, you might not be wrong. We might need somebody at the courthouse who can confirm that. The backpack and the bicycle. There's nothing wrong with that. I envy in some ways. I envy people who can ride a bicycle to work. I have a friend back where I lived previously that was able to ride his bike to work, and it was about a 3.5 mile ride to work every morning. And what a great way to start your day. I mean, that is just awesome. But if you're riding your bike to work, typically you don't run into traffic jams. You don't have the problems to navigate to work that the other people might have. And you should be able to leave early enough to be on time. Crystal, thank you very much for the comment. I think that's great. Is the other poll already pulled down? Yes, Four Sons Mom. The other poll was pulled down. Cash Cow was the winner, so we have Cash Cow is our fed up cow. I've never seen an attorney act like that with their client. Mayor, it was a surprise for me to see that as well. It's weird because at the beginning they were ignoring each other, and now they're buddy-buddy. Brooke, I was thinking, what could be the legitimate reason for this lawyer wanting to portray this type of behavior in court in front of the jury? And maybe it's to humanize her, to show that, hey, we're friends. She's a person. Don't throw the book at her. She's got a life. She's got family. Maybe that, I don't know, but I think he went about it the wrong way. Just like I think that it was wrong for Dr. Lewis to go have a 3-hour meeting with Letecia on Sunday, and just barely divulge that to the prosecution Monday morning. Kim Newton, welcome to the gallery. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Please take your seat on the front row by typing !seat. We have a reserved seat for you. Let's see who says the FU cow, meaning fed up, is what they're talking about. Let's see. Let me catch that here. Where'd it go? Man, the chat is going fast already. Let's see. I missed it. It's gone. It just scrolled off the screen and disappeared. Somebody said something about a FU cow, and I wanted to read it, but I cannot find it anymore. Okay. Julie, I understand things get a little different as it gets a little more crowded here, but...
Allegedly, Mr. Cook cries when his alarm goes off every morning since trial, and he's been in a dissociative state since. His weekends are spent in a cupboard, alone.
Ella Cole, you are so harsh. I'm possibly so right. Thank you very much for that. He definitely, at many times throughout this trial, has appeared like he did not want to be there. That there was somewhere else he would rather be, and it was not in the courthouse. Why didn't the other defense attorney tell him to knock it off? Seriously, they're a team. Can't he just look over and be like, hey, but did you see what, who's the other attorney? Boots, right? We call him Boots. I can never get his name right. Did you see what he did? He actually moved over to like the far end of the table. Like, I am not with them. I realize I'm defending the client that he's defending, but I am not with them. He moved as far away from them as they could, and I think that was intentional. I think he knows that gets him off the camera screen as well, and he just doesn't want to be there associated with that. Ellie says, I ride a bicycle to work. That is awesome. I love that you can. I love that communities now are growing and planning to allow for bikes as transport. Because as much as I love high-tech, cars that drive themselves and everything else, I think something's lost when we just seal ourselves into our bubble and transport to work without interacting with anybody. I miss those early days, carpools and things like that. Did Backpack do opening statement for defense or other attorney?
I'm not a cat.
I don't think it was Cook. I think it was the other attorney that did the opening statement. Backpack lawyer has basically nothing left to do in this case, is my understanding. I think everything else is going to be Boots. So he's basically just sitting back and watching everything happen. Good morning to Buttercup. Good morning, Rebecca. Thank you very much for a super chat
Face
this morning.
rolling on the floor laughing. Buttercup says good morning and wants cash cow to play with. Face rolling on the floor laughing. Now we need a cow face. Cow cash cow emoji. Smiling face with hearts. Red heart face with heart-shaped eyes.
Lots of red hearts there. Thank you very much, Buttercup and Rebecca. I appreciate that. I imagine Buttercup would not treat the cash cow as gently as I do, even though I'm going to be using it thoroughly today. Appreciate your support, Rebecca. Thank you so much. The lateness as a ploy helps with appeal for inassistance of counsel. I don't think they can cause their own mistrial. I don't think they can create it. So all these things they're doing, as bad as it is, I don't think they can say, because this happened in court, we should have a mistrial. I'll still maintain Mr. Cook looks like Dr. Steve Brule from Tim and Eric. Anna, and I don't know the reference, but those that do, please let Anna know if that's right or wrong, if you agree. I think he smells himself to make sure the alcohol isn't seeping out of his skin due to sweating. Oh, every time he puts hand sanitizer on, it's like this.
Jennifer just sent a super sticker with 0.99.
Jennifer, thank you for the super sticker. Looking for it. It's getting buried. Chat is going so fast. Thank you, Jennifer, for the super sticker. That is my feeling this morning. That's about Letecia. That's exactly how I feel. I see everything. Welcome. Support for Gannon. It's going to be great. Please be aware, everyone in chat, that we have many members of the Colorado Springs community who are joining us in chat. People who are who participated in searches, who lived this experience in their neighborhood, who, within their daily circle of regular life, interacted with individuals who are now, hearing about every day in court. So please just be respectful of that. Understand that the only person on trial here is Letecia, and no one else is on trial for any decisions or, behavior or anything that happened. There's only one person being charged. So let's try to respect that today as well. Samantha, thank you very much for the super chat. Good to have you here. Thank you for your support. Boots wants a job. Lisa says, I'm missing court. I'm in training for mandated reporters of child abuse and neglect. Yep, doing this now on a break this time. Lisa, have fun with your mandated training.
Nusa, love the groove. Cheers from Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires. Pizza driver, thank you very much. It's wonderful to have you here with us as well. Andy Logan, can we slow the chat a little? Here's the problem, Andy. No. I mean, we can, but it only affects non-members. And we have a lot of members here. I guess one of the benefits of being a member is you get to chat very often. And so it's my understanding that you are completely exempt from any slow chat functions that we can call. Members can't slow down chat. Yeah, that's not an option. Sarah Stanley, welcome to the gallery. Thank you very much for being here. I need to get a couple things ready as I just check live where we are. Okay. Search. Go back home here.
And Alec Murdoch stole it.
Alec Murdoch stole it. Okay, I'll watch that there.
I'm not a camel.
Okay, let's see. I had a few more things on the list here to go over this morning. Okay, we've got the package by Amber. That was done. I have to make a list or I won't get it done. We've got birthdays done. We talked about chat being busy and how to handle the trolls. Deborah, we got Deborah's questions. We talked about the possibility that some people are saying, who claim to be insiders, are saying that Letecia may actually testify. And basically that, it can't do any more harm than she's already done to her case. Let's see. We can talk about Letecia's behavior a little bit more. I do have one request. In trying to secure video for upcoming cases, I have discovered that I need a little bit of help. And one of the things I need is I need to have a website that in my desire would appear to be more of a reporting news type website, like a independent news as we follow different cases and then links to videos and things like that. So where it's similar to other channels that have that follow true crime cases. I don't know where to go. I'd rather consult within our own group, within our members, to see if there's somebody that could help with that and pay them for that instead of going to like Fiverr and doing that. But I don't need something really big and fancy. I just need a website, because some of the courts, as I request media access, require me to have a website with that can show the website that shows what we do. And so let me know on the burner phone if that's something you feel extremely skilled at and can help me, because design-wise, I'm pretty bad, very bad, as a matter of fact. See, please give us a good laugh from last night. The 13th juror, John Thomas slideshow. Oh my goodness, I saw that. Brandy put that together. We're trying to stay pickles, not politics, so I can't share that here.
Hello. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
Hello, this is Recovery Addict. Who do I have on the phone?
This is Super London Mom. And I was just listening, and you're looking for someone to help you with a web page?
Yes, probably if you could text me on the burner phone, because I don't want you to give out a phone number or something or name.
I'm not. I'm going to recommend my son. That's what he does. He writes code. He does web pages, websites. That's his thing. And
awesome.
I should also throw in there, he's like a 19-year veteran, almost for his 20s, so
that would be awesome. Can you text me his contact information and just have a little bit in there and say this is what he does, who he is, type thing, so I can find it again? That would be great.
Absolutely, and I just love your stream. Thank you so much for all
Appreciate
you do.
the call. Thank you. Bye.
All right, God bless.
Yep, you too. All right. Cachette, looks like you do websites as well. I'll only be able to pick one person, but I guess we'll have to figure it out. Okay. Did you see the backpack guy put hand sanitizer on his face? And he's done that several times. Sometimes he actually sanitizes his face, which he did after leaning in close to Letecia. I'm not sure if the two are connected. But sometimes he'll do the hand sanitizer, and he's very thorough. He's like thorough. And then he does like a sniff test. So he's like, alcohol. And then he's done. But do watch him. I'll try to keep an eye out for him and sort of zoom on him if he does that again today. Anyone who wants to help or is offering help with the website or advice that way, please send a text to the burner phone. That would be the best way to handle that. Does someone know how many more witnesses the prosecution have? Yes, Diet Soda. Just Diet Soda. That's all I can call you because we're a family show. We have 0 witnesses left. 0. The first thing they're going to do this morning is rest in front of the jury. The jury's coming in. They're going to stand up and say the state rests. And I think the judge might excuse the jury again. He said they'd only be in here for 5 minutes. And then he's going to probably talk to Letecia. I'm thinking about whether she wants to testify. He wants to find out if that's going to happen before they start. Or maybe he's going to talk to Letecia about her behavior in court and then bring the jury back in. I don't know, but something's going to happen. Just know all the people who are volunteering in chat to help me. As soon as this live stream ends, I probably will never read this chat again because it's impossible to find a message in chat digging back through. So if you don't reach out on the burner phone with a little information, then I probably will not be able to get back to you or consider it. What is the betting that Letecia will not lay down and hide today, as Dr. Lewis will be advocating for her? Every time she's had somebody up going to bat for her, she's been very attentive. So I think she probably will not hide. Okay, we're going to go ahead and end the poll because I think we have an answer. Looks like an overwhelming majority of 50%. People say that Mr. Cook is going to be 0 to 5 minutes late. And only 19% think he's going to be on time. He has never been more than 5 minutes late, to my understanding. I am rocking the blue shirt. I was going to rock the blue mug as well, but it's in the dishwasher still. And so I just hand washed the pink mug that I had out, and it's going to call it good. I'm guessing directed verdict motion to protect any appeal, even though there's less than 0%. Yes, that's going to happen. That's almost by default. This should happen. If you're ever represented by a lawyer in court with a jury trial and a directed verdict motion does not happen, you've got a bad lawyer. But I don't think that's going to be granted. Obviously, it's going to be just a half-hearted effort because the judge is going to say there's plenty of evidence to move forward that the jury can consider and make a decision on. I'm going to bet you have 18,000 subs by the end of the week. I haven't looked in quite a while. Let's see. Go over here. We have 17,429 subscribers. That's what we have. Thank you very much for all of you. That's awesome. So it's possible we could. Verdict Watch brings in a crowd, and if they decide to join and subscribe during that, we could have quite a few people. Love to see the trial about the torturous murder of Dakota Collins. Sweet boy, sickening story. Oh man, Tabitha, we have been through some heavy trials. Man, okay. I like the smell of hand sanitizer. It smells clean, says Red Finch. You can be 0% late and on time at the same time. Janlin, I don't think he can cut it that close. We've had to wait for him a couple times and start without him. Do we get anything for selecting the right answer? Just a pat on the back, Mercedes. Good job. We'll see if we were right on that poll. I think Sue said backpack lawyer was already there. All right, if that's the case, that'll be interesting. Yes, how I figured out he likes to drink. I used to work with traumatic brain injury patients and had several who were alcoholics. One would drink mouthwash, the other would apply sanitizer. Wow. Whoa. Crazy true crime shining light. After hearing what Dr. Lewis has testified on before, how great would it be if the judge doesn't allow Letecia in court today? Here's what I think. The judge, just like we saw with Judge Darrell, with Darrell Brooks, the judge wants very much to honor all the rights of the defendant. Anytime they take away or remove a right from a defendant, it has to be for a very good reason, because that is like opening the door to appeal very quickly. So anytime they do that, they have to really mean it. And anytime if the defendant says, hey, never mind, I'll be good, they're going to let him back in. We saw that with Darrell Brooks over and over, several times each day. But they have to allow that defendant to have that right, because it is a right. It's not something that, it's not a permission. It's not like it's a privilege the judge is granting out of the goodness of their heart. It is a constitutional right. So if the judge doesn't allow Letecia in court, it's going to be specific to an instance of behavior that she's doing today. Probably that I don't think he's going to ban her for something she did yesterday. I wonder if the judge voted in this poll as well. I don't think this judge watches our live stream. He has not been blessed to find it yet. Okay.
Bring the jury.
Bring the jury. Let's do a hairstyle poll. What will Letecia look like today? If you missed, look, I think we're getting some video coming in. Not yet. Nope. Nothing yet. If you missed Brandy last night, she did her hairstyle up with the hair fort, the full hair fort going as she started her show last night, and it was amazing. You guys are great. I love that you support her. She and JT do a great job on that very difficult case with audio only. Just incredible, the Lori Vallow trial. Okay. Baby Bear says, to all new subs, I will just say this. Came across this channel toward the end of the Zechariah Anderson trial. Compared to all other channels, I found RA Group to be the friendliest, a true bright spot. Thank you, Baby Bear. Thank you very much. And thank you for your generosity to the channel as well. I appreciate the cowboy candy you sent. Buffer sound's working. Let's see. Hey, Thal. Is Thal in the house? I need Thal to be in the house. Where is Thal? There's Thal. Oh, Thal just says buffer. Hello. Welcome, Thal. Good to have you here. It's I needed to make sure you were still in blue. That was what was my purpose for finding you. But let me know if there's something I need to do, Thal, with that buffer sound. What did she do yesterday? Yesterday, Hazy Crazel. I think I said it right. Hazy Crazel. Her behavior yesterday was just close. Oh, hang on. We're going to go to Super Source right there.
All right, court will call 20 CR 1358, People versus Letecia Stauch. Record should reflect the jury's not present in the courtroom. Yesterday, when we took our break, Ms. Gratiano had gone through all of the exhibits. There were 5 that there were questions about. It was 204, 221, 293, 339, and 713. My understanding is that's been cleared up. I've also spoken with my court reporter. All of those exhibits have been admitted. Is that right, Kathy? Okay. So do you disagree, defense?
I do not.
Okay. So that means that all of the exhibits that I have as admitted, let me double check these here.
Okay, we've got the Letecia cam up.
So it's
see, Mr. Cook does appear to be a little close to her again. I think she has the Bible in front of her today. And the hands, here they go. The hands are starting.
Prosecution, what's your plan today?
Well, first of all, thank you for letting us do that
exhibit audit to make sure that we had admitted everything. Our plan is, as soon as we bring the jury in, based on having that conformity between what we believe we had admitted and now what the court understands that we've also admitted with no objection from defense, we'll plan to rest as soon as the jury comes in.
Okay. Who are you calling first? Oh, sure. Hold on just a second.
He says, can we approach? So we're going to take this camera right here, which probably is going to be blocked. They're going to stand in front of it. I'm surprised they haven't addressed anything about Letecia's behavior. I will say, yes, you've got the Taylor Shabusiness trial going on July 24th. The same date Sarah Boone starts. Two back-to-back, or two cases on top of each other that are going to be just absolutely incredible. So we're going to try to follow Sarah Boone for sure, and possibly Taylor Shabusiness with a wrap-up in the evening, if that works. Somebody just hit the camera. He did. He just hit the camera. He just knocked it crazy. So now we don't get to see, this is as far down as I can go on the camera. That's not good. Hopefully the Mr. JS is going to fix that. They're still talking at the bench, which we're not allowed to show. Yesterday, the judge did, or at least the court, Mr. JS, who runs the cameras in the court, did reset one of the cameras mid-trial, and the courtroom feed that we're using to see Letecia reset to a full wide pan, which included the jury. As a judge has ruled that we're not allowed to show the jury, we had to go back in and edit that out of the live stream, which I have done. And I realize there are other channels that have not edited that out, but please do not share images of the jury. We don't want that to happen. We don't want the jury to have their images out there and be worried about people knowing who they are before they make a decision in the case. As far as the upcoming trial, let's see. Where's my face not staying on the screen? Interesting. Okay. We'll get it figured out. As far as the upcoming trial, I would like some advice or suggestions from you. We may not be following all of the hottest and most high-profile cases around the country. Some of them, obviously, like Sarah Boone, we will be, maybe Shabusiness. But I would like to find another trial that has a WebEx feed. And I might need some document hounds to help me. I'm looking for specifically upcoming trials that have either just barely started or will be starting the next week or so, that the judge has issued a media order, expanded media order, and provides a courtroom feed, which will prevent us from getting copyright claims on the feed. So if you know of any, or if you're a document hound and you dig something up, please let me know. Okay, when is she found? Let's see, I missed that one. I really hope they fix that camera. I mean, I could show you the entire camera. Well, there we go. They're adjusting it. Please tip it down. Tip it down. Somebody's bumping it. One of the trials will be delayed. Possibly. And those smiles and longing glances. The guy behind Letecia is a reporter. Yes, I believe he's been recognized as a reporter. I think oh man, I don't remember I heard his channel, the call letters from his channel that he's on. But he is a reporter there. Okay, let's go full. Here we go.
Okay. Let's go ahead and bring the jury in then.
Now I'll stay on the screen.
I should have asked. We do have everybody, right? Okay.
Is Mr. Cook here? Yep. I really hope JS fixes the camera. I think the judge is looking at the camera feed. It might be like this until lunch. Lunchtime, typically they turn them off and reset the camera.
Can you guys do return time at 1 o'clock? I'll rise for the jury, please. 1 o'clock, will that work?
Ann Harp, welcome to the gallery. Good to have you as a new member. Thank you so much for your support. Please take a seat.
Thank you. You may all be seated. Court will recall 20 CR 1358, People versus Letecia Stauch record should reflect the jury has returned to the courtroom. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a little better here today. Working on splitting that difference thing seems to be helping out a little bit. Let's hope it stays that way. Again, has anything occurred since we were last together that causes any of you to believe you could not continue to serve as a fair and impartial juror in this case? If so, please raise your hand. No response. All right. With that, when we took our break yesterday, we were still in the midst of the prosecution's case in chief. Mr. Allen, call your next witness, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. With Kevin Clark's testimony yesterday, that concludes the state's evidence, and so we would rest our case at this time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what that means is the prosecution has presented all of the evidence which it has decided to present in this case to prove all of the charges against the defendant beyond a reasonable doubt. At this point in time, the defense has the opportunity, but not an obligation, to call witnesses. I want to remind you that the defense does not have to present any evidence or call any witnesses. With that, does the defense have any witnesses it intends to call?
We do, Your Honor.
All right. Do we know who?
Your Honor, we'd like to call Dr. Rhonda Niederhauser.
All right.
Dr. Rhonda Niederhauser.
Dr. Niederhauser, if you would step forward and raise your right hand, please, ma'am. Come a little closer.
Oh, you just go right there and face the judge. Sure.
It's okay. Do you swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Go ahead and have a seat in the witness stand. Please watch your step as you step into the stand.
I don't think she will. Still, I still think she won't.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Could you please state your full name and spell your last name for the court reporter who's seated right in front of you?
It's Rhonda, R-O-N-D-A. And you need my middle name too?
Last name's fine.
Okay. Niederhauser, Niederhauser.
How are you employed?
So I work at Fort Carson. I work at Evans Army Medical Hospital, and I work in Ivy Medical Clinic. It's a primary care clinic office.
Okay.
And I'm a clinical psychologist.
Okay. And what is your education?
I have a doctorate degree, PhD in clinical psychology, and then I have a postdoctoral master's in clinical psychopharmacology.
Okay. And is this your full-time job at Evans Hospital on Fort Carson?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. And you work at a primary care clinic?
I do, yes.
Okay. Do you exclusively or primarily treat people that have mental health or
I see all kinds of different things. I would say the primary is people with depression, anxiety, adjustment disorder. I work mostly with the dependents of military spouse or military service people. And then I work with veterans and their family members as well.
Do you do active duty soldiers as well?
Occasionally, our clinic is primarily for the dependents, veterans and their dependents. Yeah.
All right.
Occasionally, there'll be a mom that brings her kid in and has some postpartum depression or anxiety, and I'll see them. But we have other clinics that will take care of the active duty service members.
How long have you been at Evans Hospital?
10 years.
10 years. And how long have you been a practicing clinical psychologist?
Since 2000.
2000?
23 years.
All right. So in December of 2019, did you meet with a Letecia Stauch?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And is this Ms. Stauch seated at the table, as you recall?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And what day did you meet with her?
I don't have that.
Okay.
But from memory, based on the records I reviewed, I think it's December 5th and also December 13th.
Okay. All right. And what did you meet with her about?
So she came in to see her primary care doc first, and that's kind of what I do. I'm a clinical psychologist, but I work as a behavioral health consultant. So my job is to work with the primary care docs to see what care somebody may need. So do they just need brief intervention? Do they need ongoing counseling? Do they just need medications? Kind of get them to the right place. So she originally came in to see her primary care doc. She was having some constipation, and the doc also did a depression and anxiety screener on her. And based on her anxiety symptoms and what she was going through with stress, her doctor walked her into me. And I have 30-minute appointments. I don't do the typical psychologist type of job because I work in a primary care clinic office and I get people walked in all the time. So she was walked in for me for stressors with her work, and she was having some anxiety symptoms.
Okay. So she went to see her primary care doctor back in December 2019.
Correct.
And your understanding is the primary care doctor thought that it would benefit her to come and meet with you, a clinical psychologist.
That's correct.
Okay. And how long did you talk to Ms. Stauch? Was it the full 30 minutes? Or
I documented it was 30 minutes. I didn't have a timer on it, and I can't tell from 4 years ago. So I'm sorry.
Okay. And what was your diagnosis, or did you make a diagnosis?
It was anxiety, generalized anxiety disorder.
Okay. Did you prescribe any medication or treatment or therapy for her?
So I don't prescribe, so I make recommendations to the primary care docs. And then I recommended that she see a therapist.
Okay. What was your recommendation for medication?
Hydroxyzine. She had said that she had tried other medications in the past, and she wasn't having depressive symptoms. It was more anxiety, and she was having trouble sleeping. And hydroxyzine is an antihistamine. It's like Benadryl. It's what you can get over the counter, which is in Tylenol PM, that can make people sleepy. But Benadryl has never been a medication that helps people with anxiety. Hydroxyzine, we found, can help with anxiety and can help with sleep.
Okay.
And that's what I had recommended.
Was she ever prescribed lorazepam by you or anybody else that you're aware of?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did you discuss stress and anxiety that she was having from her work as a teacher?
Yes. So she had told me that somebody at her work was being harassed and that she stood up for that person. I don't know what kind of witness she was to them, but because she was a witness, she felt like she was being harassed.
Okay. And at some point, you provided a letter dated December 5th, 2019. There's also a letter dated December 15th, 2019, that has your name and everything, but there's not actually a signature. Do you recall that letter?
I do. Do you want me to speak to both letters?
No, just the latter one.
Yeah. The second letter, so I saw Ms. Stauch on the 13th of December. And at that time, she was doing better. She had decided that she was going to quit that job and she was going to go in another school district. She was going to look for a teaching job in another school district. And because she had made that decision, I think some of her anxiety was relieved. In fact, when I did it's called a behavioral health measure 20. So it measures all kinds of different things, including anxiety. Her symptoms had gone down. And I think that was mainly because of making that decision to leave that job. So she left, and then I got an email from her that she apparently had talked to her work, her boss, whatever the case may be, and they told her that they wouldn't allow her to quit because she was on a contract, and if she wanted to resign, she'd have to have a letter from her doctor indicating that it was recommended. And so that was the letter that I had written, was that I recommended that she be able to resign from her position based on her anxiety symptoms.
Okay.
And then I sent the letter. I'll finish.
I'm sorry. And you had
Wait. Let's stop both of them. I know it's hard for you because everybody comes in, number one, they're nervous.
Sure.
And they may not have done this before, but the court reporter is taking down everything we say as we say it.
Sure.
That's important for one thing. It's easier for her to take things down if only one of you is talking at a time. It's also easier if you speak slower.
Okay.
She'll appreciate that.
Okay.
So let's try again.
And you provided Ms. Stauch a copy of the letter where you recommended that she step down from her current teaching position.
Correct.
Okay. Did you provide that a written copy to her? Or did you send it via text, electronic, email?
I sent it by email. I sent her a draft of the letter.
Okay.
Which means basically I didn't sign it. I sent her the draft so she would be able to read it and see if she felt like it was sufficient, if I was not putting in too much information or if I was putting in not enough information. So I sent that letter, the draft of the letter, to her.
The therapy that you recommended that she start, what type of therapy are we talking about?
It just would have been individual.
Talk therapy with a psychologist or psychiatrist?
Therapist, yes.
Okay. After December 2019, did you have any more contact with Ms. Stauch?
No, I did not.
Okay. Can I have just a second, Your Honor?
You may.
That's all I have. Thank you, doctor.
Cross-examination.
That was quick.
I apologize, everybody. I'm nervous.
Would it surprise you you're not the first person that's been nervous on the witness stand?
I was hoping I wasn't the only one.
Everybody feels it. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
So, Dr. Niederhauser, I think you said you've been a clinical psychologist since 2000. Is that right?
That's correct.
When you see a patient like you did with this particular defendant, what kind of things do you have access to?
Their report, of course. We do scales. We do a depression scale, which is called the Patient Health Questionnaire 9, and it gets the main symptoms of depression. We also do what's called a generalized anxiety disorder questionnaire. It's called a GAD-7, and so we have access to that, to give that to people. The second appointment, we do a behavioral health measure 20. The only reason that they did that one is the first one was with her PCM, and the primary care docs provide those questionnaires. I'll also provide it if the docs have not provided it, if they walk in to see me. But the behavioral health measure, when somebody has an official appointment with me, they're filling that out in the waiting room, and then they bring it to me. That's what the government wants me, the military wants me to have people fill out. I like the other two forms better, but that's what they have us fill out.
Government and the regulations, right?
Yes, military, yes.
Do you get a description of symptoms from the patient?
I do.
You agree that this particular patient, the defendant, endorsed that she had sleeping problems?
I do.
That she was feeling tired?
Yes.
That she was having trouble concentrating?
Yes, I believe so.
And that she had moderate level of anxiety?
That's correct.
And then that she also, though, denied any suicidal ideation.
That's correct.
What does suicidal ideation mean?
Where she wants to kill herself.
She also denied any homicidal ideation.
That's correct.
She denied any intent or plan to commit either suicide or homicide as well.
That's correct.
And that was on December 5th, correct?
Correct.
Did that hold true on the second date, on December 13th?
It did.
She cited as the factors of her psychological issues as the stress at work, correct?
That's correct.
And that she was trying to quit that job?
That's correct.
And that she wanted a letter from you to be able to quit that job?
That's correct.
Did you consider the option that she might be manipulating her visit with you to get a letter to present to work?
I did not. That's not typically how we operate. We trust the people that come in to see us. I would not be a good psychologist if I cross-examined every person that came in and said, I don't believe you. So that's how a therapeutic relationship works, is you have to trust the person that's coming in to talk to you.
Did you note in your notes on this from December 5th that there was no disorientation observed?
That's correct. She knew where she was, who she was.
Why is that important?
Situation. It's important because you have to know who you are, where you're at, what's going on.
And she had no problems there?
No, not at all.
She also was not exhibiting any hallucinations, correct?
That's correct.
Her memory was not impaired?
That's correct.
Even remote memory was not impaired?
Correct.
And more significantly, recent memory was not impaired?
That's correct.
Judgment was also not impaired?
That's correct.
Speech was normal?
Correct.
Rate of speech was normal?
Correct.
Didn't seem to be pressured in her speech?
Correct.
Tone was not abnormal. It was not monotone or any other abnormality?
Correct.
And volume was normal?
Yes.
And in fact, you noted no language abnormalities were demonstrated at all?
That's correct.
You also went through her thought processes, correct?
Correct.
They were not impaired?
Correct.
In fact, you noted that they were linear, logical, and goal-directed, correct?
Correct.
You also evaluated her for connectedness, correct?
I'm sorry, what?
Connectedness. Do you remember that?
I don't know what.
Okay, there's a note in your report that said evaluation of connectedness showed no deficiency.
Correct.
What does that mean?
So I think what you're referring to, and this has been like an old note, so I don't have access to it, but I think that it refers to how you connect to other people, and I didn't see any problems with her connecting to me, and she had connections to other people, her family.
Okay. And just so you're aware, I know that you're nervous. It's okay to be nervous, like I was talking about at the beginning. If you can't remember, and it would be helpful for you to review your report. If you tell me that you can't remember and it would be helpful, I can show you your report and then you can review it, okay?
Okay.
That's a standard thing that we do with lots of witnesses.
Sure.
You noted that her insight was intact.
Right.
What does that mean, insight being intact?
She recognizes what's going on with her. She has insight that she has anxiety, that kind of thing.
And you also noted that she was not having any delusions.
Correct.
If you're noting all of those things, are those signs that somebody is not suffering from a severe mental health disorder?
Your Honor, we approach.
No, if you have an objection stated.
Honor, I don't believe this witness is allowed to.
Then she can tell me if that's the case.
And what I'm asking Dr. Niederhauser is, based on your years of experience as a clinical psychologist since 2000, and then working as a clinical psychologist for Evans Army Hospital and at Fort Carson's, are those types of things that somebody would suffer if they are suffering from a severe mental health disorder?
Can I answer that or no?
I'm not the one giving direction here.
Okay. So what I basically would say is if I had any concerns that she was a danger to herself, a danger to someone else, or she was gravely disabled, which means she was psychotic or so severely depressed that she wasn't functioning, then I would have placed her on a 72-hour hold and sent her to a psych hospital. So she had some anxiety, she was having some stress, but she was not suffering from severe mental health disorder to the point where I felt she was a danger to herself or others or couldn't function.
Okay.
Or was psychotic.
Okay, and that's exactly what I was asking. This particular patient was not suffering at the time that you saw her in December on the 5th or the 13th of any severe mental health disorders, correct?
That's correct.
In fact, you noted that she was only suffering from generalized anxiety disorder.
Correct.
What is generalized anxiety disorder?
So that's where you have anxiety, and for people that aren't familiar with anxiety, it's just worry, nervousness, like I am right now. And so you worry about everything. So you don't just worry about certain things, you worry about a lot of things.
Okay. On December 13th, you went through the same sort of neurological assessment of the defendant, correct?
Correct.
You noted that there was no disorientation observed?
Correct.
That she was oriented to place, person, time, and situation.
Correct.
That she was not suffering from any hallucinations.
That's correct.
That her memory was unimpaired.
That's correct.
And that remote memory was not impaired.
Correct.
Recent memory also not impaired.
Correct.
Judgment was not impaired.
Correct.
Why is it important to note that her judgment was not impaired?
Because if somebody has poor judgment, then they're going to make bad decisions.
And her judgment was normal.
Correct.
Her speech was normal.
Correct.
Tone again was appropriate. No volume issues or monotone issues or anything like that. Correct.
Correct.
And then you noted on that same day, December 15th, that last time that you had evaluation with this defendant, that she was still only suffering from generalized anxiety disorder.
Correct.
You mentioned the M1 hold, that 72-hour hold. Tell the jury what that is.
So it's a hold that I can place on somebody and send them to a psych hospital. It's up to 72 hours. Generally, when you send them to the psych hospital, the psychiatrist or whoever's in charge at the hospital will continue to keep them on that hold. The reason we place somebody on a 72-hour hold is because they're a danger to themselves, they're a danger to someone else, or they're gravely disabled, like I was saying before. So they're so psychotic that they don't know who they are, what they're doing, or some people are so severely depressed that they're not eating, they're not taking care of themselves, they're not functioning. So that's where we can place somebody on it's called an M1 hold in the state of Colorado.
And during your career as a clinical psychologist, have you ever dealt with somebody that you had to put on an M1 hold?
So since I've been at Fort Carson working in a primary care clinic office, I don't see it as often, but I would say probably in the 10 years I've been doing this, it's probably been once or twice a year. So it's not frequent, but it happens. Prior to this, my job was as a mental health evaluator at Memorial Hospital for 5 years, and that's exactly what I did. People would be brought into the emergency room to make a determination if they were a danger to themselves or others or gravely disabled. And so I put people on M1 holds or emergency commitments. Emergency commitment is same thing, except you're under the influence of alcohol or drugs. And the emergency commitment, you would send them to detox, and that's a 5-day hold. And so I had a lot of experience of working in emergency situations and placing people on M1 holds or emergency commitments prior to working at Evans for 10 years.
As a professional and as an expert in clinical psychology, do you feel comfortable doing that if you're seeing the signs that would be appropriate for a placement on an M1 hold?
Yes.
Did you see anything about this defendant on either December dates of 2019 that caused you to have any concern that she was a danger to herself or to anyone else?
No, I did not.
Okay. May I have just 1 minute?
You may.
I think they're done. One more question.
What was the source of information as it relates to your interactions with this defendant?
Just the clinical interview with her and the scales that we utilized.
So basically everything coming directly from her.
Correct.
The
only time we get collateral information is if we do have concerns about somebody being a danger to themselves or others, or they're psychotic, or people are worried about them because they're not functioning. That's when I would get collateral information from other people.
And that didn't occur here?
No, it did not.
Okay. Did she have any history whatsoever of psychological treatment in the past?
She had told me that she'd been diagnosed with anxiety in the past. In her medical records, she does have a diagnosis of panic attacks and anxiety. And then she had told me that she had tried different medications, but I don't think she'd ever seen a therapist before.
Was there ever any history that you knew of that she'd been in an inpatient treatment?
She had not.
Had not?
Had not. That's at least what she told me.
She told you that?
Yes.
Okay. Did she mention any, as it relates to the stress or the anxiety, did she mention anything to you about stress related to her stepfather from 20 years ago?
She did not.
Did she mention any stress related to sexual abuse at the hands of stepfather from 20 years ago?
She did not.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Redirect.
I don't have any questions. Thank you. Thank you,
Do any of the jurors have any questions for Dr. Niederhauser?
No redirect.
Looks like we have one.
Got a juror
Counsel
question
would
there.
retrieve that and counsel approach, please.
Let's see. let's zoom in here. They're going to cover this camera a little bit, but let's see if they block the camera. The last time the council approached, they bumped this camera, and they bumped it up so that Letecia is literally at the very bottom of the frame. If I were to zoom out, we're looking mostly at ceiling in this camera shot. So I'm hoping that Mr. JS, who runs the cameras, will notice this sometime during the break and get it resolved so we can get a full look at Letecia during this part. Yes, bad witness for the defense. The whole defense team. Why did they use her? Yeah, hang on.
All right. Dr. Niederhauser, did you or the defendant set the second appointment on December 13th?
I did.
All right.
Well, I asked her to get an appointment, and somebody scheduled it.
Okay. I will allow reasonable follow-up as to that question only. Mr. Cook?
I don't have anything.
Mr. Allen?
So how was it that you had contact with her to set that second appointment?
So usually what I do is I walk them out. There's a back desk, they check out, and then they actually make an appointment. So I think that's how it happened.
Okay. So it was basically at the end of the first appointment, you walk out to the lobby and then you say, set another appointment in a couple of weeks, essentially.
That's correct.
And why did you have to do that for this particular person?
I typically do that as just a normal routine because I want to make sure that I don't do the ongoing therapy, but I want to make sure that I'm following up with patients and making sure that they're getting the help that they need. And so that's why I set it up. And then she did get prescribed that hydroxyzine. And so I wanted to follow up with her and make sure that how she was doing on that medication.
So this was only in response to just you wanting to make sure that what you were recommending was working and to follow up, not because you had some concerns about severe mental health disorder.
That's correct.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Niederhauser. You may step down.
Wow.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, before you came in this morning, the attorneys and I were talking about some logistical things, and I know you might not be surprised. You might be, but you might not be surprised to find that in a case with this number of witnesses, this number of exhibits, sometimes scheduling issues occur. And so we don't have any other witnesses until 1:30. Until 1 o'clock. We're having there's a scheduling issue with respect to the next witness. So what we're going to do is I'm going to send you out until 1 o'clock. If I can have you back in the jury room at 1 o'clock. Again, don't discuss the case with anyone else. Don't discuss the case among yourselves. Don't do your own independent research about any aspect of this case. And the attorneys and I will be dealing with other issues. We're going to talk some probably about some jury instructions, some logistical things, and things like that. So while we're not able to use your time efficiently this morning, I still hope to do that here. And we are still ahead of where we thought we would be at this point in time. So I know it looks like there's some downtime, but we're still going to use it efficiently from our end. And we are still ahead of where we thought we would be.
It's 9:30 there right now.
Enjoy the morning, I guess.
We get 2.5 hours off.
And we will see you at 1 o'clock. All rise for the jury, please.
1 o'clock. So, yeah, so 3 p.m. Eastern time is when they're coming back. We're going to still be here because there will still be stuff to be done here in court. Hopefully that'll be on camera and with the mics on. So we're going to watch this here. So don't leave. We're not done by any means. I think we also will get the questioning of Letecia possibly this morning as a possibility as well, as to whether she's going to testify or not. Defense is not finished. They have their star witness, Dr. Lewis, who visited with Letecia over the weekend for 3 hours.
Record should reflect the jury has left the courtroom. All right, Ms. Stauch, I'm going to go back through some of the questions that I talked to you about last week. I just want to confirm prosecution, there are no prior felony convictions. Is that accurate?
Correct, Judge. There were some prior felony arrests, but they were not convictions.
Okay. All right. And Ms. Stauch, how old are you? And we've talked a little bit about your education. You have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a doctorate degree. Do I have that right? And how's your health today? And are you now or have you been under the influence of any alcohol or drugs in the past 24 hours? Do you understand that you have a right not to testify? Can you hear her okay, Kathy?
No,
okay.
We can't hear at all.
And if you choose not to testify, then the jury can be instructed about that right and be told that they cannot infer your guilt from the fact that you remain silent, and that it would still be the prosecution's burden to prove the elements of the case to the jury beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand that? Do you understand, however, that you have a right to testify? And do you understand that if you want to testify, no one can prevent you from doing so? Do you understand that if you choose to testify, you may be cross-examined by the prosecution concerning any matters which are relevant and material to this case? Do you further understand that juror questions may be submitted, but that the same rules of law, evidence, and procedure that apply to lawyer questions will apply to juror questions, and that improper juror questions will not be permitted? However, legally proper juror questions may be asked of you if you decide to testify. Do you also understand that the decision to testify or not to testify is yours personally, and only you can make that decision? Do you further understand that even though your attorneys may disagree with your decision, that the decision is entirely yours and yours alone? Do you fully understand this advisement? Is there anything further you wish for me to explain to you concerning your right to testify or not testify? What is your decision? Do you wish to testify or not testify?
I'd like to wait till after.
All right. We'll wait until Dr. Lewis has concluded her testimony, and we will see where we are then. And we'll go from there.
It just went to a coin toss. They're waiting to see how it goes with Dr. Lewis before they decide. I think it's a coin toss.
Let's use a little bit of the time for jury instructions, just preliminarily.
This goes from like a 5% chance to a 50% chance in my books. It surges. Because basically,
I'm going to take out the instruction regarding discrediting by conviction of a felony. We've not had anybody. The instruction regarding expert, I think, is missing some language. I have to look at it. It looks like it's missing some language, so I just need to look at it. And then, Mr. Tellini, do you have a theory of defense?
Yeah.
Are you intending to submit one? Okay. So, all right. And do you have any objections to the instructions that have been tendered by the prosecution?
The only one I have, they all appear directly with Bold G, except it's the one about lay witnesses
right.
On sanity. The objection to that one, I understand it comes from the statute, but I think it unnecessarily highlights that testimony. I mean, clearly witnesses can do that. The court, has clearly allowed them to do it. So I think it's implied that it's acceptable for them to do that instead of the research.
Mr. Allen? Mr. Young?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Not prepared to give you case law on this particular issue this time, so I'd like to reserve argument until I find the case that addresses this issue.
Okay.
Obviously, there's a statute right on point that allows that to happen, which is 16.8.109. The jury has heard that type of testimony. Defense has objected in front of the jury to that type of testimony. Therefore, the people feel it's necessary to give them an instruction as law with regards to layperson testimony. The wording of that instruction is, I believe I used that particular instruction in another homicide case where insanity was an issue. I just can't recall what case I got that from. And so I'll be able to get that to the court this afternoon.
Okay.
Of course, the defense has an alternative instruction that they'd like to provide. We're more than welcome to look at it.
Well, I'm looking at 16.8.109. This issue came up earlier, I think, in response to Mr. Grusing's testimony.
Stauch, the English asking the rest. All the waiver presence for the jury.
Okay. All right. All right. And Ms. Stauch, as I understand it, you're willing to waive your presence for the jury instruction conference? Okay.
So let's see if they kill the cameras for this or not. The jury's gone, so they might not. That's Mr. JS that just walked in the background. He's the one that needs to fix the camera for us. Gloving up. This is something we have not shown on camera yet. She first gets handcuffed. Oh, the judge is trying to fix the camera. So they still won't show it. Even though it's not in the order to not show this, it's possible that they don't want to show it for security reasons. Sometimes they'll cite that when not wanting the bailiff's work to be shown on camera. Delay is ridiculous. What's wrong with the defense? John, this is surprises me as well, because here's what we knew. We knew that Dr. Lewis was flying in over the weekend, right? We knew that from Friday. We knew that she sat and talked to Letecia for 3 hours on Sunday. So she's here, right? And then for her not to be here on Tuesday, does that mean she flew out? Because, I mean, why is she not here? She's our star witness. What was the scheduling issue? It seems like a stunt almost. Robin B., welcome to the gallery. Thank you so much. It looks like Letecia's going to be gone briefly for part of these jury instructions as she uses the facilities.
Right. I'm looking at 16.8.109, and as I was about to say, I think that the instruction as submitted, I'm not sure I'm going to give it in the form that it's in light of
there's nobody really to see on this camera here.
I know the case is People versus Dunlap, but I can't remember the citation offhand.
Yeah, the theory of defense, they've said they have one, but they're not going to share it. So the judges asked for this several times, and every time they're being like, nope.
173 P. Does it sound right? Dunlap?
Nope. I'm thinking it's 36 P. 3rd 778. And the case that I'm thinking about now, granted, there are a number of different iterations of Dunlap because it's a death penalty case, so it went up and back a number of times. But I think the case that I'm looking at is 36 Pacific 3rd 778. I can tell you for sure the principle of law is that it was reversed because the language in the instruction that was given by the court did not specifically track the language in the death penalty statute. And so I think the closer that language in an instruction tracks the actual language in the statute, I think the better we are. I do think, and I am inclined to give such an instruction in part because it's warranted by the law, and in part because there has been some testimony regarding, from lay witnesses, regarding their impressions about Ms. Stauch's mental status at any particular time. And so I think that the jury should be advised that they can, whether they give way to that or not is up to them, but I think that they should be advised that it's proper to consider that and take that into consideration. And then the only other question that I had was, you submitted a jury instruction that I didn't know what the source was. it says the question of the defendant's sanity or insanity has reference to her mental condition at the time of the alleged acts, the condition of the defendant's mind previous to the act charged and since that time may be considered only to aid you in determining her sanity or insanity at the time of the acts charged. It sounds like it's a standard instruction somewhere, but I didn't find it.
And did these so long ago, it's hard to remember where I got.
Okay.
I got most of them from Colgy, but I also did some from prior cases that I had. So I'll do some research while we have some time and figure out where I came up.
Okay, that's the only one that I had the question about. So, and let's see.
So they're going over jury instructions here.
Is there anything else that we need to address prior to Dr. Lewis's testimony at 1 o'clock? Mr. Young?
Besides what we talked about yesterday, that's the only concern I have.
Well, let's talk about that because she's going to be here at 1 o'clock.
I'm not sure she's waived her right
that you are requesting
to be present for this.
That the court remind her that she's not to get into the substance of her meeting on Sunday for 3 hours with the defendant and.
Okay. All right. Okay. Mr. Tellini?
She does in the evaluation diagnose with a possible traumatic brain injury and reference earlier hospitalizations in the report that was provided before.
Can you show me where that was?
Yeah.
That's in there. I just remember reading that as well.
I remember reading it. I just can't remember which report, whether it was hers or someone else's. I didn't recall it as I was looking at it in hers. So what page are you looking at, Mr. Tellini? I see the diagnosis of the traumatic brain injury by history, but I didn't see where she mentioned. Yesterday we were talking about a softball incident, and I didn't see that mentioned. Okay.
The picture is dark because the camera on the right has panned up to see the ceiling, and it's getting a white balance
1 o'clock.
from the lit ceiling.
You're confused. I'm going to let them.
Yeah, no, 1 o'clock, because that's when Dr. Lewis will be here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't take her back to CJC.
So they're saying don't. She's going to be sitting in a holding cell. Letecia's going to be sitting in a holding cell. He said don't take her back to the Criminal Justice Center or CJC. Why would her, Letecia?
Sorry. Preliminary report.
The preliminary, okay.
Yes, on the third page. Talked about a second diagnosis could be partial seizure. These kinds of seizures are characterized by auras. She was severely injured when a shell fell on her head and knocked her unconscious. Prior to that, she suffered a head injury and was taken to the emergency room, required a CAT scan, and had a discharge of diagnosis.
Okay. Mr. Young?
It wasn't about a softball, obviously, injury. It's in her report that may lead to this conclusion that she comes up.
Okay.
And I do recall her talking to Ms. Stauch about the bookcase during her forensic interview that was recorded back in.
Okay. I think she can talk about that. Again, she can't talk about a softball injury other than to say that what she says here, prior to that, she suffered a head injury, was taken to an emergency room, required a CAT scan, and had a discharge diagnosis of brain damage. I think she can talk about that.
Ooh.
What? Oh, she wants to come back. She can.
So Letecia, just waive her rights briefly.
Other than that, is there anything else that we need to take up?
Nothing from the
defense. Okay. All right. We'll see everybody at 1 o'clock then. And I will tell you that even if we finish early today, we're not going to do closings tomorrow. I think it's fair to give everybody some time to get things together. So the earliest that I would anticipate closings would be Friday. I just think everybody needs to have some time to put all of their
ducks in a row
together. So, all right,
thoughts in a row.
We'll be in recess then.
So closing on Friday is wow. it just stretched out again. So, okay, so cameras are off. Please, 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 please fix that camera while it's off. I'm begging the court to do that. Let's go here for a minute. Okay, let's talk about what happened here. First of all, the objection that we heard from the defense during the previous witness, who was Rhonda Niederhauser. Let me unpin that comment here. Just one second. This was defense witness, and the defense objected to her, and we couldn't hear it. The objection was speculation, saying she was not an expert witness. She could not speculate on that. That's an appropriate call on their part. I think it was good, but the question was not really asking for her to speculate. It was sort of right in line with everything that she was testifying about, and it wasn't a speculation, in my opinion. The judge agreed. It's funny, he denied their request to approach and said, nope, just call out your objection from there. And so they had to do it. What we do for 2 days, I don't know. Ginger, I'm not sure how much time Dr. Lewis is going to take up from this afternoon, because she started late. Starting at basically after lunch for Dr. Lewis, she's not going to get done in half a day. There's no way. I don't think that the cross is going to be very thorough on this as well, because she's like their star witness. And I think if it goes anything like Dr. Niederhauser, we also have Letecia testifying as well in her own defense. Can you please explain why you think the defense will wait on Dr. Lewis? Why you think defense will wait on Dr. Lewis? And 2, when will 3-hour Dr. Netter testify? B, the next witness should be Dr. Lewis. I believe that's the next one we're waiting for. And I'm not sure about the 3-hour Dr. Netter, because the 3-hour was Dr. Lewis. She met with Letecia for 3 hours on Sunday. Am I mixing things up there? There's no court on Thursdays, right? So we're going to take Thursday off. So we have tomorrow's Wednesday, and then closings on Friday is our schedule right now. Gwyneth Paltrow trial showed that it was not easy to prove a brain injury. Shouldn't the state have been told this was the defense? Mighty Heidi, it sounds like they were told this in her preliminary report, that she was diagnosed with what it sounded like was a discharge diagnosis of brain damage from her head injury. Okay. If you guys want to be up to date on everything that happens, please hit the subscribe button on the channel. If you can subscribe, the YouTube will alert you whenever something happens. And as we're getting close to the end of trial, the schedules change a lot. There's very little left to fill gaps, and as there's a hole, things disappear. Now we have gaps like this. If you want to be able to jump in and follow everything, click the subscribe button, ring the bell. Every time something happens, I'll be following it. You won't miss any of it. If you do that, you'll be able to be here and join us that way. And it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Debbie Wilson, welcome to the gallery. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Why was today no verdict this week? Could still be a verdict. I don't think we're going to have closings. I don't think closings are going to take all day. Usually closings take 1, maybe 2 hours each. So we're looking at half a day of closing in the morning, and then afternoon verdict watch. And we could be out of here by the weekend with the verdict. Friday closing, verdict after. I think that's why he wants it to happen, to complete a full day and end for the weekend. A little behind, but love recovery addict reaction to her maybe testifying. Yes, it could happen. I am Medusa. Welcome to the gallery. Thank you so much for becoming a member as well. Love the beach picture on the profile pic. That's where we'd all like to be. I think that's where Brandy is right now, on the beach there in Florida. What is defense theory, newbie? The theory of defense, is Matthew here? Matthew, Nicole, anybody in the house? Before I butcher this and do it the wrong way. Let's see. If she testifies, can she request a witness stand camera be turned off? Will the judge allow? Lisa, I don't think she would be allowed to have the camera off for that. She's not a victim in the case. She's the accused, and I don't think the judge will turn it off. No. If she had severe brain damage, how could she be able to earn a doctorate? Little Miss, great question. I think that will come up. Her alts were able to go to school for her and do all that. Let's see. It was the Casey Anthony lawyer closing, took 3 hours. Smile, love. If she testifies, they may not end on Friday. Can you imagine her being up on the stand for more than a day? Can you imagine us and our bleeding ears if she's on the stand for more than a day? I mean, I realize there will be great moments in there as she explains to us exactly how you get a cash baby. But, wow. E-Tom says, recovered to use brain damage as defense. How would defense prove something wrong? They just closed down the meeting entirely from the courtroom. Okay. So we'll keep an eye on that. They've got 3 hours to come back. 3 hours is the timer. Did she get her degrees after she saw a psych and things were fine? No, her degrees would have been before the psych, before the brain damage. Because this is 2019 that was the eval. Well, no, that was the eval. There may have been brain damage early on from playing softball. I don't know where that fell time-wise. Maybe we'll find out. Goodman Law, do you have a minute to call in? Sorry, I haven't been looking at the phone. You might have been calling already, and I've been ignoring it. We're asking about theory of defense specifically, so I can preface what we're talking about. Can you explain? Matthew's like, butcher away. Yeah. Quick Google for you from uscourts.gov. One theory of defense is an assertion that the evidence negates an element of the offense, or simply that the government has not proven each element beyond a reasonable doubt. That would be one theory of defense. Basically, what is their story? What are they running with? Right? When I hear theory of defense, what do you plan on doing? What are you going to prove? It's like your opening statement type thing. Nicole's going to call in and bail me out here.
Call from
Nicole.
Nicole, good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How about you?
Fabulous. Thank you for calling in and bailing me out on this theory of defense thing. Can you help me with the definition when the judge says to Mr. Tahini, he says, Mr. Tahini, do you have a theory of defense? And he says, yes. And he says, do you want to share it? And he's like, no. What are they talking about?
Okay, so it seems to me we all know that the defense itself is that at the time of the offense, she was legally insane. My guess is that the theory of the defense that they're going to go for is based on a brain injury. I think the way that they're setting it up may be to sort of tie this brain injury into her feigning, DID, or the doctor is going to say she has DID because of the brain injury and therefore was not legally responsible at the time. That's the only way that they could tie it in, is to try to use that brain injury.
So yes, Baby Bear says, "What a crock." It's not flying well with our little jury
agree.
Here, but
I agree,
yeah.
and I think that Letecia is going to testify if things don't go well with Dr. Lewis. If the jury isn't sort of buying whatever she's saying, she may get up there and try to, pretend.
They did not go well with Dr. Niederheiser. Who this morning that turned state witness
right.
so fast,
right.
and the most telling part is on redirect he couldn't rehabilitate her at all. He's like, I've got nothing. I can't save
right.
any face.
Right.
He waved the white flag again, as we've seen him do several times in this, and just says, nothing. Let's just move on. I'll take the loss.
Right. Well, and I think the prosecution has met its burden as far as proving that she was sane at the time. So now that the burden is going to shift to the defense to try and sort of take that away and say, no, she really was, not responsible. She didn't know right from wrong at the time of the offense. So really what happens before or after the jury can consider, but the key is at the time of the offense. So that's what they are going to have to focus on. So if Dr. Lewis says she suffered a brain injury, which caused this psychotic break at the time of the offense, that's what they're going to aim for.
Can we pick your brain a little bit? Little Miss is asking a question about temporary insanity instead of just plain insane, and what the difference is from a legal standpoint. Do you want to wade in?
Sure. So the legal definition of insanity is, I'm assuming this is different from the psychological definition of insane. So it's almost the same. Somebody can't know right from wrong. They can't formulate the intent to commit the crime. It's going to be laid out in the jury instruction. Legally insane does not include someone who is jealous or angry or seeking revenge. That doesn't count as legally insane. It literally has to be somebody who is, for lack of a better word, correct, not responsible for their actions, because at the time of the offense, they literally have no idea what they're doing. They don't know right from wrong. It's not the same as somebody who snapped. Right. Somebody who snapped is doing it out of anger. That's different. This is a mental defect that causes somebody to do something.
And it's going to be hard to prove. I mean, this temporary insanity is
under these circumstances. Yeah. Under these circumstances, I can't see how they prove it at all. But I'm sure they're going to give it a try.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Anything stand out to you this morning as far as courtroom behavior, developments, the witness not being available, their star witness not being available, even though she flew in over the weekend and met with her? What just stands out to you is like, okay, this is a stunt, or this is just wrong? Is the defense letting the ball drop here?
No, I think that Dr. Lewis is trying to, and I think that's why she met with her also. She probably has listened to the other testimony, and all of the other testimony has somewhat discredited her. So I think she's trying to reassess herself and make it fit. I don't know if that makes sense. I've never seen her work or any of her documentaries, but if all of these people say, no, she's saying she doesn't suffer from this, and she has diagnosed her with DID, she's got to go back and look at everybody else and see why they're wrong and come up with something legitimate
to justify her conclusion.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think she went back to reevaluate, Letecia, and that's why it wasn't recorded. It was kind of, that was really sneaky and kind of inappropriate.
Yeah.
Somewhat like the laughter in court yesterday, which I was shocked the judge didn't, stop. But
whatever she comes up with as she does this, juggling around or shuffling of her opinion, it has to be within those bounds of her initial report. She can't come in and say, "Oh, by the way, I've made this new finding." I talked to her over the weekend. She could. But the judge said it has to be.
Talk to her over the weekend.
Yeah, but it has to be. He says, "I'm going to limit her to what she's filed already." 35 days ago, she had to have all her findings in, and that's what she's going to be limited to. So it'll be interesting to see how she fits all this together and makes it happen.
Right. And it's going to be difficult, too, for the prosecution to know what she's relying on based on what she says. So she could be relying on something that just happened when, in fact, it ties to her original report, but she's thinking of something from Sunday.
Yeah. Nicole, thank you so much for the definition. Before I let you go, I want to ask you, and I like to put you on the spot a little bit. I know it might not be appropriate necessarily to respond, so if it is not, please let me know and I'll let you off the hook. Mr. Cook's behavior and Letecia's behavior in court yesterday shocked a lot of people, surprised us. It seems like it crossed at least an ethical rule that should exist. Is there something that in the books, in the ethics rules, or somewhere in the lawyer's oath that says you don't do what we saw yesterday? Or is that just a gray area?
Yes. So counsel, this is a different state, so I'm going to refer to California or unlicensed, but in the professional rules of conduct, there is rules of decorum and appropriateness that you have to follow, as well as the courtroom's own rules of decorum. And failure to do that, if somebody complains, can get you in trouble with the bar. Unfortunately, the judge didn't say anything. So because the judge didn't find it to be so disruptive as to bring it up, it likely the bar wouldn't do anything about it. But it was wholly inappropriate. And the professional rules of conduct clearly cover, courtroom decorum. So,
yeah. But basically the judge would have had to raise that flag and to have that be something that would rise to the level of him being reprimanded in some way, right?
Correct. So, right, with the bar.
We saw the prosecution say, Your Honor, I'm not sure what's so funny, but I'm getting these outbursts to the left of me, and judge said nothing.
Right.
And defense said nothing, and they just moved on.
Right.
So it got close, but I don't think the judge thought it was over the top.
Correct.
Although
if the judge had made a comment, then the bar could have potentially done something, because again, the professional rules of conduct usually cover that as well. And I'm assuming that Colorado's professional rules of conduct do have something built into it about appropriateness, in front of the judge. So. Yeah. Assuming that there was a small chance that could have happened, but if the judge didn't feel that it rose to the level of anything, then it doesn't, because the judge can always refer somebody to the bar for their conduct in court as well.
Yeah, maybe the judge will speak about it at the end after in sentencing. A lot of times the judge will talk about behavior that happened in a courtroom if they're not very happy with the defendant. So it might come up later on as well as a sentence is handed down. So.
It could, but I get the impression that this judge is very by the book, and I know a lot of people think the judge may say something to her, but I just feel like he would be the type that would just stick to, sentencing and then bye.
Yeah.
I don't
Next.
know
Yep.
Exactly.
All right. Nicole, thank you so much. Appreciate you calling in on short notice to help us out with your definition and advice. As always, Nicole Goodman Law Firm, as here she is in chat. You have your own YouTube page.
So much for having me.
We'd love to send some people your way. If we can type exclamation point Nicole in chat, it will put your link up on screen for your own YouTube page, where it's growing with additional content all the time. So can't wait to.
Thank you. And I'm going to drop a new video real soon. Really interesting legal theory. So check it out.
Awesome. Nicole, appreciate it as always. We'll talk later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Nicole is great for that. There's her page right there. I'd love it if you give her a follow. If you like her analysis, which is spot on, and sometimes is different than some other legal analysis. We get variety here. I definitely recommend you give her page a follow. She is fantastic. We'll have her on in the future some more as I get a little bit better with my equipment here on this end. As we've just implemented some new stuff as well that will make it easier. Okay, so a couple of people are saying, wait, what happened yesterday? I missed it. If you missed yesterday, here's what happened with Letecia. Well, no, I won't be able to. Let's see. Let me turn this on that way. No, I don't have that. Bummer. Okay, just 1 second.
Call from Pam.
Hey, Pam, this is Recovery Addicts. How are you doing today?
I am good, thank you. I just wanted to tell you, I looked into Dr. Lewis quite a bit, and I have a good idea where they're going with her.
Okay.
She believes that DID is often caused by a combination of a brain injury, most likely a concussion, and people don't always know that has happened to them, combined with childhood abuse, sexual or other childhood abuse. The combination, and a large part of the worst criminals have DID, and they don't always know it. She sometimes meets with them and lets them know that they have DID by going through their past with them.
She leads them to that conclusion.
Yes, and I did hear in one of the interviews with Tisha, one of the mental interviews when they were evaluating her, she brought up playing softball and getting a concussion. And the reason that Dr. Lewis's report was so late was supposedly because she was waiting on the results of the MRI of Tisha's brain.
Wow. Okay, so that gives us an idea of what we're going to hear. That'll be interesting as everyone else has said no on the DID, but apparently she has a unique opinion on this that she's going to share. Maybe she can convince at least just one juror is all they need.
Yes, and I'm really hoping the state has a good defense to fight her back.
Yeah.
Since the people that they've already had don't have experience with it.
Yeah. Pam, thank you so much for the insight. We're looking forward to hearing from Dr. Lewis and seeing what the state does on cross as well. So thank you so much.
My mom and I love listening to you.
That's
I'm
awesome.
so glad you're getting a lot of viewers.
What's your mom's name?
Kathleen.
Well, Pam, Kathleen, both of you, thank you so much.
I chat under her name.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you. Have a great day.
You too. We'll see you, Pam. Bye.
Bye-bye.
I appreciate Pam for that. Lisa, the break's going to be till 3 o'clock Eastern time. So we have, it's 3-hour break is what we're waiting on. A little under that, basically. But, okay, we had a couple things. What happened yesterday we want to talk about because a couple of you were asking, what happened yesterday? I missed it. Letecia yesterday did a couple things in court. First of all, her hands started going up to her face a lot. I never saw a time where the middle finger just blatantly came out and just waved around. There were a couple, you can get like a couple frame grabs, and I've seen those where briefly the finger was up type thing. And by briefly, I'm talking less than, a quarter of a second. I don't think that really counts as the bird. I'm not going to count that in my tally for her. But so that happened. She was, her fingers were going. She started mouthing words. She mouthed words to, I believe, Harley, whose birthday I believe it was yesterday, saying something, I love you, Harley, or happy birthday, Harley. I love you, happy birthday, Harley. I think the happy birthday, Harley was definitely very clear to read. The judge looked over as she's mouthing words, and she just about broke her neck turning away and stopped talking at one point. There's a great video on I believe it's on TikTok about that if you want to look for that. That was yesterday as well. But the big thing that people had a big problem with, more than the hands, more than she pulled, she scratched something at her shoulder as she was like stuffing tissues in her shoulder. I think she like made herself bleed or something. The big thing though was her interaction with Mr. Cook, the attorney that sits to her right. Just after lunch, I believe, Mr. Cook opened up his laptop and started looking at stuff and shared it with Letecia. So they sort of moved the laptop over between the two, and she scooted over to him and he scooted over to her, and they were right down on that same level looking at this laptop, and it looked like they were watching something update, like say as chat would on a screen as it's scrolling by, periodically changing as you get new messages. And as they're watching that, as things pop up on the screen, they're laughing. Even we couldn't hear it on the mics, but it was loud enough that the outburst of them reacting to what they were seeing on the screen got the attention of the prosecutor, who was busy asking a witness questions about the timeline on the stand, and he was saying, Your Honor, I'm not sure what's so funny over there, but I keep getting interruptions to my left. And the judge said nothing. The defense didn't respond about it. They just let it be and left it, and so that just continued, and they got really close. Their heads were almost touching. They were like leaning towards on each other so they could both see the laptop. It just seemed wrong. Everything about it, as we're looking at it, was just like, they shouldn't do this. You'd think in a murder trial, we're talking about a kid who's been murdered. We're talking about the timeline of the events, where a defendant who appears to be guilty by my standards is sitting there laughing in court about something that's really funny about this timeline as they're talking about finding the body and things like that. It was appalling. And a lot of people responded the same way. Carolyn, thank you so much. Welcome to the gallery. Appreciate you as a member. Good to have you here. Let's see. Any other questions? We'll keep the burner phone open right now. If you guys have questions that we can answer, that would be great, because we do have a long break. But if you're here right now and have questions, I'd like to answer them now instead of make you wait until we go live again after lunch. So the burner phone is available by typing !burner in chat. One person has to do it, not everybody. And then you can call that. I just have the one line, and it's just me. I don't have any secretaries, so please be patient if you can't get through the first try. We just do ask that you follow the same rules on the burner phone as we do in chat. Keep it family friendly, keep it nice and clean, and we'll get through this together. Did you say the guy behind was a reporter? Do you remember where he was watching them and maybe wrote about it? I saw a news article, I think it was on Yahoo News, that says they were looking at the list of all the Google searches that she had done. So possibly a list that was more inclusive than the items that they had the timestamps on, is what they limited it to. Excuse me, what they limited it to in the testimony. Let's see. Getting a bunch of texts. We'll take phone calls if you want on the burner phone. Who's on the burner phone right now? It was Pam was on the burner phone just a minute ago. And before her, we had Nicole Goodman from Goodman Law Firm. licensed attorney out in California, a good friend of the program. Let's see, Amanda says, my new bet is that this doctor's last-minute visit was to coach her on this DID thing. That's why she's waiting to decide if she needs to testify, whether they can convince. Amanda, great analysis. That just might be the case. Judge just giving defense enough rope to hang themselves. Jury saw that behavior and won't like it. Lee, you have to realize that one of the first questions the jury asked in this case, that they sent a note to the judge and said, we're sitting here, we're looking at the courtroom, we can see everything, we can see the defendant, and we can see what she's doing. Are we supposed to consider that? And the judge did not answer. They talked about it, but the judge still to this day has not answered that question to the jury. He says, I'm not going to tell them yes or no, because either way opens up a can of worms that could bring possible issues, even appellate issues into the trial. Sarah James, new here, love RA. Thank you so much, Sarah. Good to have you here. Thanks for finding the channel. Good to have you with us. Let's see. She can't say it was just discovered because she says she created them. She did say she'd created all her personalities. Does Ellis have teeth? Yes, she does. I don't know if I don't know the extent of the softball injury she sustained where she got hit in the head and lost her teeth. I don't know how many teeth you lose when you get hit in the head with a softball. It's generally, I would think even at the size of a softball, unless the whole thing went in her mouth, which I don't think it did, she would probably lose, 4 to 6 max. I just can't see losing that many teeth unless it was, I've seen people lose all their teeth before in a car accident, and I don't see how a softball could do that. They're not soft. I'll say that. Those who aren't familiar with softball, it's like a very large baseball. It is softer than a baseball, but it's not like a foam ball. It'll still hurt. Burner phone's ringing now. Let's see who's on the line.
From Fractured.
Fractured, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. What are you thinking during this 3-hour break here on trial?
Oh, this trial is just something. I had a thought about the whole baseball, brain injury thing. Because I used to play overhand fastball, and I got hit in the head with a really hard pitch. And then I got probably 3 plays later, because I sat out for a minute. I had a really bad headache, and then I got hit in the head with a line drive 3 plays later.
That's like concussion.
And I had horrible concussions, but I softball. I still play softball. You're not getting a traumatic brain injury from softball. In my personal experience, I mean, our pitcher just our last playoff game of last year got a line drive right in his cheekbone, and did not have brain damage. So I'm really trying to understand why they're trying to make that a thing. I'm not saying it's not possible. It just seems very far-fetched for softball. If they were talking sorry, I'm making dinner, so I was just drinking the
I was thinking, if it was an injury from a bat, obviously it could be very different than an injury from a ball. If she fell and slid into second base and met the base face first, that's very different. There are lots of ways you can get hurt in a ball game, but I guess until we get more details of how it happened, I can see how a concussion can definitely happen. I can see how you can lose some teeth. The bat's obviously probably the most traumatic of any of the injuries.
Right. And the other issue that I had was when they're saying a traumatic brain injury. So about 7 years ago, my niece got hit by a car on March break. I'm going to try not to get emotional talking about it, but she had a traumatic brain injury. She got hit 70 miles an hour with a 3,000-pound vehicle.
Oh my goodness.
So, she's comparing apples to oranges, a softball to a car, essentially. And again, I don't want to sit here and try to say that it's not possible, but it's so highly unlikely. Like if she were a child, if she were 10, or 5, but I mean, you watch Major League Baseball games where people get hit with the bats, they get hit with the balls, and they don't have, like, it just seems so far-fetched, and I don't understand why they wouldn't go after something a little bit more, something else that would make sense.
More substantial. It does seem,
right.
like Kim says, defense is really grasping now. It seems to be a reach. It sounds like they're like, oh, we found this one. You've told us, they probably asked, tell us about all the injuries you've ever had. And they found the one that's probably the closest fitting in this one. And it seems to be a stretch. Obviously, there may be facts of this injury that sustain and say, hey, that is substantial. That could cause these things. And obviously, Dr. Lewis is probably going to testify and say that it is, that it definitely could do it. And thus, DID is a possibility.
Right. So my final thought real quick on the behavior yesterday is that, so she's being charged with killing a child. And if they think that they're winning any brownie points, she's coming across as narcissistic and disrespectful, like someone who just doesn't care what anyone at all thinks of them or their behavior, like they're just above it. She's not coming across as crazy. Like, I have 5 diagnosed mental health disorders. I think she's the most disrespectful person I've ever seen. Like, how do you laugh during a murder trial of a child? Yeah. Like, it's sad. It's like, and that's what the jury is that's how they're gonna view her. And, I mean, I wouldn't feel bad a bit if they convict her just on conduct. Like, you're not even sorry that the kid is dead. You're not. You don't care. Yeah. And that's not crazy. That's narcissistic. That's a lot of other things.
All of us, as we watch this case, we feel the same thing. We look at her behavior and we just know that it's not right. You don't do that. That's not appropriate. But I don't think, she's insane. Fractured, thank you very much for the call. Thanks for your input and analysis and experience behind that as well. Appreciate you very much.
I love your chat.
Thank you.
And your stream. Thank you for what you do.
Yep, we'll see you. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
All right, just got
Rachel Jones just sent a super sticker with 5.
Thank you, Rachel. Appreciate the super sticker with the thumbs up fox. Appreciate that very much. She's the only one that believes that theory. How much weight does it carry, says Suki. Let's see. If you have a comment for me that you need me to read, if you can tag me like Ivy did here in the message, makes it easier for me to find it.
Call from
chat.
To accept.
Suki. Hi, this is Recovery Addict. Who am I speaking with?
This is Yamor. I'm calling from Stockholm, Sweden.
Hey, hello. How are you from Sweden?
Thank you so much. I know my name is really tough to say. I'm just calling to say that I have read a lot about the real DID cases. And there are a lot of really good articles about Jenny Haynes. So she's from Australia, and she has supposedly 2,500 alters, and she has won the case against her dad. So what I learned from it is that, not just from it, but I have read a lot about it, DID cannot start at 16 years old. It is supposed to start around sometime like 5-6 years old, and a lot of esteemed psychiatrists, testified about that. So this supposed quack, Dr. Lewis, is not right. I just want to share that about it.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. Tell me your name one more time. I'm going to try to pronounce it properly.
Okay, it's Yağmur.
Yağmur?
Yeah, it means rain in Turkish.
Oh, wow. Well, that is wonderful. I've never been to Sweden. I've been to Norway, but not to Sweden. Beautiful part of the world.
Yeah.
Part of the world. Thank you so much.
Have you ever been to Turkey?
I have not.
You should. Okay.
I'll put it on the bucket list. Yağmur.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much
Have
for
a great day.
accepting.
Anytime.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
That's just awesome. Yağmur. Did I get that right? I think it did. Holy cow, 2,500 alternates. they said Jenny Hain, I think she said her name was. That is a lot of alternates. How do you have time to be yourself if you have that many? Burner phone's going live here.
Call from.
Hey, this is Recovery Addict. Who am I speaking with? Hello? Maybe they don't know they're on the phone.
Sorry about that. It's Bree. Sorry about that.
Hey, Bree, how are you doing?
Good. So here's my random thought with this. And I know the lady just called in about softball and didn't think it would be, could be that big of an injury. But if you think about it, think about these football players now that are going with CTE. There have been several football players who have been hit so hard in the head that they have severe brain injury. And some of them have killed their spouses. So
yes.
I wonder if maybe that's the route they're trying to take, is this brain injury is causing this, and then maybe using something like that is kind of their way to show that, hey, this is something that does happen.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up because this has been a story that's in the news, specifically in America. Okay, the football we play is different than the football the rest of the world plays, but we play with pads and helmets, and then we carry the ball instead of using our feet, but we still call it football. And when we have a collision, like a helmet-to-helmet contact, which we try to limit based on the rules, somebody can get injured, and it happens unfortunately frequently. And we have seen in the news people who have sustained a lot of injuries throughout their career in football seem to have a higher occurrence of domestic violence events in life, and maybe there's a correlation there that they can draw out. That is interesting.
Kind of one hit could have been something to do that, but I could see where I guess my brain is looking at, kind of based off what you're seeing in the mainstream media about it, is that maybe that's where they're trying to go, is, hey, this has happened in the past. Like maybe that's the direction they're trying to take with this injury. I don't know, but yeah. I mean, those pieces started kind of making sense today when they started talking about that. Like not making sense, but you know what I mean.
They start to fall together, and maybe we can see where they're going to go. I'm excited to listen to it. I don't think I'm going to be convinced. I'm trying to be open-minded to Dr. Lewis, but I don't think she's going to convince me because I feel pretty solid in what I've heard from the other witnesses in the same field. So, but it'll be interesting to hear where this goes.
100%. But I mean, like you said, maybe there's nothing else that she can do but go on the stand. I mean, what's his face? In South Carolina, the attorney, he had to go on stand because he had nothing else to lose. So
Alex Murdaugh.
Maybe that's what we're getting today. Is Alex Murdaugh part 2?
It's. I think I'm putting it at 50%. I was at 5% chance of her testifying before, but I'm now at a solid 50%. And I really think she would do it. I really think her attorney.
And then they said that
might even say that you should. She might have good advice that she should.
Crazy. It was, I was in the car and I was like about to hit the brakes. I was like, oh my goodness.
It's going to happen. There's a fly in my studio. I'm going to have to kill it. Oh, thank you very much for calling in. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Have a fantastic
Have a good day.
We'll see you.
Bye.
All right. Jane Taylor says, loving this chat. So interested to find out all this info. We have great people here in this chat room. This is my first time messaging on here. So hi, everyone from the UK. Jane, hello to the UK from the US. Good to have you here. We have a good number of people from the UK, from Ireland, some Scotland, obviously Sweden, Denmark. We have some good representation all over that region of the world throughout Europe. Let's see. TT was what I was thinking after that call also. Let's see. Sorry, I've missed this caller a couple times. Oh, I just missed him again. Try it one more time. Whoever's calling with the 703 area code, give it one more try. We'll get you on. Okay. UK here too. Wonderful, Jeff. Good to have you here. Letecia's thought out planning, cover up, continued cover up. No way she's crazy sane. No way she's crazy. She's sane. Right, Sarah Moore. I think we're on the same page there. I studied TBI as an undergrad. Still don't believe her, says Shar. The burner phone's going nuts. I don't have time to check all the messages right now. How long before the murder was the softball incident? Mary Kay, I think that's going to be something that will come out during Dr. Lewis's testimony. Let's see.
Call from
Christy.
Hey, Christy. This is Recovery Addict. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Just doing fabulous. What's on your mind today?
Well, I'm having a hard time with Letecia's with her lawyer, Mr. Cook.
Yes.
I'm wondering if he doesn't also suffer from the narcissistic personality disorder, because he doesn't seem to have any regard for anyone other than himself. He's late all the time. He's packing up his bag while the judge is still talking at the end of the day. And there's no question about whether or not she did it. They said that she did it. It's just a matter of what she's saying when she did. And the fact that he can sit there and just laugh and cut up with her is just, they're both despicable.
I would say, I wouldn't go so far as to diagnose him as a narcissist. I would say that he definitely is not vested in this case. He probably does not like being here and being involved in it. And so he's letting his behavior slip. His interest level is definitely showing on his behavior. When he is, in lawyer mode, I think he's very good. We just haven't seen a lot of that from him. He's the one who basically says no questions. That's his job, is to say no questions, Your Honor, no questions for this witness. That's almost all we've heard from him. But occasionally he's had moments of sparks of brilliance. But
well, he screwed up yesterday pretty bad, because you could see that he was scrambling. He wasn't paying attention during that testimony, and he couldn't even think of what he should ask. I mean, he knew he needed to ask something, but
yeah, the judge is like,
he seemed stuck.
Mr. Cook, call him Mr. Cook. And he's like, no questions, Your Honor. I think he wasn't even paying attention, and he was just goofing off with Letecia. Crazy. There's that fly.
That's gross.
Yep.
And I hope that people are watching that, because if anybody deserves for their business to be cut out, he's it.
Yeah, I don't know. I would like to see him in another trial that he would like to be in, and see if his behavior changes a little bit. I'm not going to write him off entirely just on this, but I do think it was not appropriate at all. But thank you very much for calling. I appreciate that. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we let you go?
Nope, that's it. Thank you so much.
Awesome. All right. Have a great day. We'll see you in chat.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah, not many people were impressed with Mr. Cook's behavior yesterday. LJ Gibbs says, recovery addict, could judge not want to make waves with the canoodling until after it's over? If there's a relationship, it could be a mistrial. There's not going to be any relationship. There's no chance for there to be a relationship. We are seeing the entire opportunity, basically. Everything else happens in front of guards, for the most part.
Call from
Yvette.
Yvette, this is Recovery Addict. How are you doing today?
Hi, I've been following you. I love the show. Love what you're doing. I just been noticing something, and I was thinking about it because I was talking to my daughter about it. Leticia's face, does she not look like she is not okay? And the reason, like in the trial, compared to pictures of before, considering that they have her in solitary confinement, 23/7. I honestly, if she wasn't crazy, she certainly looks crazy, and I don't know if that solitary confinement has anything to do with it.
I would say that being held in isolation or protective custody, I think is what their term for it, is definitely not good for your mental health for anybody. It just doesn't. It's not a good environment. Just you and your own thoughts never leads to a good spot. People need interaction to be healthy. So I do think that's probably hasn't helped her at all. But I don't think, A, that's made her go insane, or B, that could be used as evidence that she,
No, I don't think, yeah, correct. I don't think she wasn't, I really don't think that she was insane at the time that she committed, and they've proven that. They've done a great job. But what I'm saying is her face is in court. If she's trying to play it off with the jury, I don't know if it's an act or if she really looks like that because she's been confined so long now, like present day.
Yeah.
She doesn't look like she's all there. So.
Yeah, it's possible she's lost some of her awareness of how she's perceived. Does that make sense? When there's nobody else around you to say, hey, why haven't you combed your hair today type thing, you might forget to comb your hair once you're around people again. But I don't know. Great insight. Yeah. It's interesting to see. I wonder what the jury's going to decide. I wish we could hear the jury afterwards. I hope they do choose to speak to the media and just say, this is what we thought, this is what we felt, once they're all done.
Well, I'm a behavior analyst. I work with kids with autism, so I observe behaviors, and just observing her behaviors now, she plays it as she wants, because like she'll sit there and laugh with her lawyer, but then when it's not convenient and someone's testifying to stuff she doesn't like, then she, does the head down and tries to play it off like she hides.
She's like an ostrich.
And that's, it's
Head in the
just,
sand.
Well, thank you. It was just an observation I made. I know that maybe she wasn't crazy then, but she certainly doesn't look okay at times.
Yeah.
But, all right. Well, cool. Thank you. Good job on your show, and hopefully it keeps growing.
Thanks for sharing. Appreciate it. Bye. All right. Karen says, can Alice get in trouble if proven she does not have a masterate or doctorate when she tells the judge she does? Yes. I mean, let's see. Was she sworn? She wasn't sworn in, but she's still making a false statement to an officer of the court. Yes, I believe you can get in trouble, but when you're being charged with murder, it's assuming she's convicted of murder. A lot of times, take the example of a car chase, right? We watch car chases on this channel frequently, and you might have individuals who commit a whole bunch of crimes in a car chase.
Watson.
Hey, Ricky, hold on just for 1 second. Is that all right?
Oh, heck yeah, go in.
All right. So I'm explaining that as we might follow somebody in a car chase that may commit a whole bunch of crimes, and he runs a stop sign, changes lanes without signaling, everything. The charges they're going to face are the most serious ones, and when it comes to being on trial for murder, the fact that you lied to the judge is probably a small one that won't be addressed. Ricky, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
What are you thinking today?
Well, I understand everybody's theory on that softball stuff or whatever, but I'm having a hard time about believing that. I mean, gosh dog, when I was young and dumb, I rode bulls.
Yeah. You were in the rodeo, right?
Yes, sir. And gosh dog, I've been kicked in the head and everything. So, and I still break horses now, which I ain't gonna say I'm 55.
All right.
But I still break horses.
And by breaking horses, you're talking about training them to accept a rider and a saddle.
Yeah, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh dog, they'll buck you off quicker than snot.
Yeah.
But I'm having a hard time dealing with this head injury. I mean, gosh dog, like I said, I rode bulls and I've been bucked off of horses and all that.
It seems like a stretch, right? Like it seems like they're making it something bigger than it was. And of course, we'll have to wait and see until the evidence. It's true that I've seen, some accidents that some people, get in, they bump their head and they're like, that wasn't very serious. They actually die from it. We've seen people that suffer, some really, it seems like results that are much bigger than what everyone would have thought would happen from an injury. So that could be a possibility. Obviously, we'll have to hold off a little bit, but it does seem like it's a bit of a stretch. I'm with you on that.
Well, yes, like I understand that part, but by God, that defense is going to have to take up something somewhere off in yonder.
Yeah. We'll see where they go with it with Dr. Lewis. It's going to be interesting, and then cross-examination as well.
Now, okay, now that's what I'm waiting on right there.
It's going to be great. Ricky, I think if you were to start your own YouTube channel, you'd have a lot of fans. We've got a lot of people in chat who absolutely love your accent.
Well, heck, thank you all out yonder.
That is awesome. I appreciate you calling in again. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, Ricky. Have a fantastic day.
Oh, yes, sir. I appreciate your time.
Anytime. Thank you, Ricky. Have a good one.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye. Ricky's awesome. We've talked to him a couple times. Great, strong accent. Burner phone is lit up today. Hi, cut off who your name was. This is Recovery Addict. Who am I speaking with?
This is Charmaine. Good morning.
Hey, Charmaine. Good morning. How are you doing today?
Well, I had to take a break after yesterday, so I just came in from the garden.
Okay.
And I see some people in the chat saying remember the teacher or the staff that was going to hire Letecia, and then she called in that her dad was hit? The teacher, the lady that was going to hire her, found out that she didn't have a doctor, whatever that is, and so she fired her anyway.
I don't remember that part. I
remember
her testifying.
Really deep. I've been following it really deep, and I remember seeing that she had fired her when she found out, not because her father was ran over and in the hospital or whatever. It was because she found out all on her application was a lie. So I'm like, whoa. Wow. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's. I think in that during that testimony as well, we might have heard something to the effect of Letecia sort of being her own referrals, like using her kids' phones as a referral for herself.
Yeah,
which is
if you following the trial, if you do I went on some searches for Letecia Stauch. People have Justice for Gannon and stuff. You can go over there and find out so much information from the people who actually know Al and the family. And yeah, she's crazy, but she's not insane. And I've been hit in the head with an iron and a chair, was taken to the hospital. I had a concussion, and me having a mental illness, I never committed murder. So
keep that record going, please. Charmaine, don't change that record for us. Thank you so much for your input today. This trial just gets crazier and crazier with every day.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. People really follow our attention in the beginning of the trial. A lot of stuff came out, and you kind of forgot. And that's why I wanted to let your audience know that she had a falsified record of having a doctorate, whatever that is.
Yeah, we'll have to dig some more on that. And I think there's some truth to her education, but I don't know which part is true. It might be the bachelor's, might be the master's. I doubt she has all three, but we'll see.
Well, you're doing a great job. Love the blue shirt.
Thank you, Justice for Gannon, right? Thank you, Charmaine. Appreciate it. We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye. Looks like Matthew Harris says, Recovery Addict, did you know that Ricky Watson and I are going to get together for a selfie pretty soon? That is awesome. Please send it to the burner phone when you do. I'd love to share it on the channel. That would be great. Let's see. She did say the references were fake. That's the part I remember, Connie, is that the references were fake. I thought that they were still trying to dig and verify on the degrees, and that like Liberty University hadn't confirmed a doctorate, last I heard. Let's see, she gave Gannon's number so the head teacher would ring for a reference. Do you imagine Gannon answering the phone call? He's like, you want my mom? Yeah. Just crazy, but not insane. Can we see the clip yesterday of when Ellis was mouthing words in slow motion, please? Kitty Kitty Bang Bang, let me see if I can. Hold on one second. Got to see which drive it's on. Okay, I've got one. Okay, I've got it here. Let me pull it up here, right here. Let's cut there. Okay, it's going to take me a second to find it, so we're going to first fast forward through. There's the end. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to go slow motion. So we're going to back up just to her talking, right? And unfortunately, I recorded this 2x speed, so I have to play it manually on my jog wheel. So here she's saying,
I'm not a camel.
Okay, there we go. So let's back it up. It says, I think she says, I love you, Harley. Happy birthday, Harley. That's what I think she was saying. This was part of her behavior yesterday. This is before she did the whole canoodling with her lawyer. But we'll play it again. This is about normal speed. I love you, Harley. Happy birthday, Harley. And then the chin. It's almost like saying thank you in sign language. But does that help at all? That's part of what happened yesterday that we got. I think that's what she's saying. What are your thoughts, says Bay Pattern? What are your thoughts on the possibility of Letecia has been abusing self-medicating for anxiety and turned her into abusing more substances and perhaps drug-induced evil? Weird with Al. I don't know. We haven't heard a lot of evidence about that. I realize that she could have been, there was opportunity for her to take different drugs that were prescribed to people around her, but she's been very adamant that she does not use drugs, and weirdly, that's one of the few things that I think she was telling the truth on. That she doesn't abuse a whole bunch of drugs. Now she might think she uses some as needed that she shouldn't be taking, but Amanda Hill says, recovery addict, did you see the part of T and Backpack yesterday where they stood up and he leaned into her like 3 times, swaying back and forth over and over? Anyone else? Amanda, all yesterday afternoon, they just could not be pulled apart. They were just way too close to each other. Just crazy. I thought she had really flipped there for a minute. Let's see, and looking at the jury the whole time. She has been, I think she's looking towards the camera or something she thinks is a camera. When they moved this other camera yesterday to the new position, she started looking directly at that. So I think that's what she's doing. I think she was going to write something when she started with the Post-it notes, but changed her mind and mouthed it. Gailey, that is a great analysis. We did see her grab 2 Post-it notes and like she was going to write something down, and then went to something else instead. Heard the defense might be calling Harley to testify. Can she testify on both sides? She can. She can. Well, I don't know. The defense has not had her on her list, and if she's been released by the by the judge, which I don't think anyone has been released really. Let's see. Matthew Harris says, Weather Watch, hey, we took some really great selfies despite us shivering in the cold. I've seen that selfie of Weather Watch and Matthew Harris together. If only one of us controlled the weather, Matthew, that would be awesome. Check the burner phone, please. Annie, let me take a look at the burner. I've got a ton of messages. I think I have close to 60 right now. Let's see. Okay, I want to see who's... Okay, Annie, I've got your message here. It looks like the guy sitting directly behind Letecia and her backpack lawyer yesterday, he's a reporter live tweeting from the courtroom. Let's see who it is. Zach DuPont. During that whole scene yesterday, Cook and Stauch were just looking at the same Google searches on his laptop that were being reviewed by the prosecution. That's Zach DuPont. Thank you very much, Annie, for that. Zach is the guy with the sort of the long hair. He's a bigger dude, sits behind Letecia, and he was the one that would have had the view of the laptop because he was like between the lawyer, as little space as there was, he was between the lawyer and Letecia during all that. And so he's over there on Twitter, says that's what they were looking at. So that's a good, solid source there. Thank you, by the way, Annie, for that. Appreciate the reminder to check the burner. Is Ari going to take the stand for the defense? Please no. Please don't put me in there, smile love. Harley was released. Then she's not going to be testifying because she's not on the defendant's list. The defense list has only had just a couple people on it. She was Googling find a rich military man while picking Al up at the airport. She's such an awful person. Personally, in my opinion, Al was also a victim, that poor man. Let's see. She was eyeing those Post-it notes before the little mouthing and tissue scene. Any denture wearers out there? Can you bite nails and cuticles? If she is missing her teeth, she was wearing them yesterday because I could see at one point her teeth in her mouth.
Call from
Ambulissimo.
Ambulissimo. I couldn't hear what your name was. This is a recovery addict. How are you doing?
Sam, what's up?
Hey, Sam. What is happening?
I've been trying to follow this trial as close as because I got school and I've got work. So correct me if I'm wrong. So she's trying to, her case is that she went crazy in that specific moment.
Yeah.
I'm finding it hard.
You ended that with a question mark. So we all have that same question mark. I'm not really sure.
Because in my opinion, I think we've seen in past trials what a true insanity case was.
Mm-hmm.
But especially after yesterday with all the Google searches and stuff, it really shows premeditation. because I think really no one's going to go through all that work if they went crazy in that specific moment to hide the body and then make plans to go all the way to Florida, dump the body, and, all that stuff. So I'm like, with like the softball incident, stuff like that. I mean, I played baseball and like I've gotten hit in the head before. I've gotten, hit all kinds of places, and I'm not insane,
right. Yeah, it seems to reach to me. I'm not saying it's not impossible to have a TBI from a softball incident, but it seems that they were searching for, something to pin that on, or to fill in, to check the box of, oh, she needs a TBI. What could count there? What in your history has happened? Any car accidents? Any injuries somewhere? Sports injuries? Oh yes, well, okay, that was it, type thing. And it doesn't seem legit, especially when you put all the rest of her life together, all the stories, her doing so well in school, getting her doctorate, it doesn't sound like it really happened, to be honest.
Yeah. And especially like the messages that I think it was Harley who like sent the messages to I forget who was Gannon's dad, Al, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It looked like, Harley, I mean, it looked like Letecia really wasn't like, because Harley definitely, and it could be like a blind thing because it was her mother, but still, it really didn't feel like Harley even thought that her mother would be able to do that. So people live different lives, separate from their families. So yeah, that's where I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's what my thoughts are at.
Sam, I appreciate your analysis. I think we're on the same page there with her. Can't wait to see what happens here in the next 24, 48 hours in court. But it's going to be interesting. Thank you so much, my friend.
She takes the stand, yep.
Yeah, we'll watch for that. Thank you. Have a great day. Good luck in school and work.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Right, bye. Okay, we've got a ton of messages here. Let's see. Oh, the phone's still ringing though.
Call from
Cat.
Cat, how are you doing? Someone's going to play.
Hey, how are you?
Someone's going to play I'm Not a Cat. Just warning. It's going to happen.
I hope so. But I am. I'm a two-legged cat. Anyway, how is Dr. Lewis, I'm interested, going to say that Letecia was insane at the exact time of the murder when Letecia claims she doesn't know what Maria does, but she explains the murder?
There are so many contradictions in Leticia's story,
right?
Even with her own defense, that they have their work cut out for her. I don't know how Dr. Lewis is going to do this. Possibly she's going to, she might have to sort of wrap into her definition of DID the fact that you get all these weird stories that don't line up, and that could be one of the symptoms that proves that she has it, type thing. That's about the only thing available. I'm not a camel. But yeah, it's...
Anyway, hey, thanks for all you do. I just was wondering if you, No, I guess no one has an answer. We'll find out. Hooray.
We're going to have to just wait and see, Kat, on that one. But you and me both. Can't wait to see it.
Okay.
Have a good one.
You take care.
Thanks, Kat.
Bye.
You are a cat, says Kat. Phone. Let's see. HBO has a documentary called Crazy, Not Insane. That is Dr. Lewis. That's the same witness. That's the same person. She puts that on. Get your bingo card ready for closing. Make your own bingo card here. We can do that.
Call from
Valerie.
Valerie Ivy, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fabulous. Better now that we're talking. What's on your mind?
Oh no, I appreciate. There was another caller who called in and said some of the stuff I had found on. I was telling you I'd found on Dr. Lewis, but your last caller, Kat, just.
That was perfect timing. You're breaking up, Valerie. Are you there? I think we're about to lose you. The call's going to drop. Valerie, we lost you. Sorry about that. If you get a better connection, please call back in. We'll try to connect there. Shoot the fly with your laser. Yes, I do have a burning laser that I could use to get the fly if I wanted to. I don't know where it is. If you see it buzzing around me or land on me, please let me know. all this in a bingo card, my brain would explode. Valerie,'s calling back. Let's see if we've got a better
Call
connection
from-
here. Hey, Valerie, we had a bad connection for a minute. Are you there?
Yeah, that's why I said my name was I live in the woods. I do. I'm sorry about the connection. I was just gonna say that those I don't know if you heard about when I was saying about the Shawcross trial and the Bundy trial. Those were the two big trials that Dr. Lewis weighed in on and testified in, and she used signatures. She used the fact that Ted Bundy sometimes signed his letters as Sam, and she also used Shawcross that he used different signatures to say that those were indicative of DID, which is so on the nose with the defense. Remember when the defense asked the state's one of their doctors about, did you review the material we sent to Dr. Lewis to look at?
Yes.
It was something like 16 signatures.
Okay.
Like that, they're so on the nose, the defense. They're like, oh, well, she has, yeah, you're right. She has this TBI or she has this injury. Oh, and she signed her name a bunch of different ways. That must mean evidence of DID.
I don't think the prosecution is going to fall for this. On cross, they're going to
Oh, I don't think they are either. I'm just saying, I think.
And just
yeah,
I would not be surprised if she turns into a state's witness by the time the prosecution is finished with her on cross. It would just be
right. Well, I think the other thing with her is that I read that Dr. Lewis is often called in to confirm a diagnosis of DID, but rarely to actually diagnose it. So I'll be really interested in what language they use. Like if it comes out that she actually didn't diagnose it, but that she was called in thinking she was confirming it.
Yeah, because I don't believe there was anyone else to diagnose it.
But that's what I want to know.
What she was asked to do. That's fascinating. Valerie, thank you so much. I'm glad you called back. Glad we got that question in from you. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, watching back after training, what was the cow named? I would have suggested Letecia. Oh my goodness. It was named Cash Cow. We have Cash Cow now. This is it. And I've been squeezing it on and off today as needed. Probably a little more than needed. Angelo says, recovered. What is the over-under on Backpack Lawyer getting a little saucy while on break so we can get through the rest of this day? Will lightning strike if Letecia, she takes a stand? I don't think he will get a little saucy on break. That would being drunk in court is generally frowned upon for lawyers. I think that would be something that he could be reprimanded for, or even lose his license over, because that would definitely entitle his client to an appeal. And the courts don't like that. Forcing appeals or being the reason for the appeal is not a good thing. I'm glad you stopped squishing your cash cow. We don't want any more beef on the channel. Lisa, I just did it again right before I saw that message. I apologize. Which defense lawyer will question Dr. Lewis? I think it's going to be Tellini. Boots is going to be doing it. Janice says, hello, everyone. I have a question. What is the timeline where they think that Gannon was stabbed? Because if he was stabbed and it showed him getting in the truck and not coming back, when was it? Janice, they believe he was stabbed after he got out of the truck. Probably very soon after that. It's that out of the truck and before Harley comes home that he would be killed in that time, and the cleanup being happening. I don't believe he was stabbed before he got in the truck, and I don't believe he was stabbed in the truck, because the truck would be very difficult place to clean. Even just vacuuming out your own car, you realize how hard it is to get everything clean from all the cracks and crevices. And if there's blood dripping somewhere down in the seat, the cracks, the seat belt, things like that, it would be very difficult to clean that as a crime scene. And because there was virtually nothing found in the truck, I think that all those injuries that he sustained happened in the bedroom. That also lines up with some of the blood spray, the analysis that we covered earlier in court with the blood on the walls and everything there. Sadly. Sarah Lynn's asking, what about a neurologist testifying regarding the MRI confirmation of brain damage? What about a neurologist testifying regarding the MRI confirmation of brain damage? That sounded like what they might bring in through Dr. Lewis as she reviewed the medical records for Letecia and this injury that she had that required hospitalization, where she lost teeth in softball. I heard that there was a diagnosis of brain damage on the release there. Can you explain the Cash Baby thing to me? I must have missed testimony about that. La 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 lee. If you missed Cash Baby, you missed an amazing day. Was that last Friday that we had Cash Baby? Or was that before? It could have been the Friday before. It's been a long time. Cash Baby is one of the last stories we heard from Letecia, where she was explaining that she was driving to Petco and stopped to help a lady. I think she said she didn't know that Gannon was in the car at the time, but she stopped to help a lady who was 8 months pregnant, looked like really, really pregnant, and she needed help. And so she stops. The lady gets in the car. Turns out, guess what? Surprise, she's not pregnant. She has a fake pregnancy belly on that she's used, and it's stuffed full of money. And, and who stuffs a pregnancy belly full of money? Where does your mind instantly go for that? Well, for Al, it's like bank robbery or something. That story never got fully filled out. Unfortunately, Al started yawning in the middle of it, and Letecia did not like that. And the story basically, the call ended before we got the full story on the Cash Baby. But that's where it comes from. If she didn't use drugs before, she sure will now. The board's in the garage. Oh, we've got somebody on the phone here.
Call from
Chris Carroll.
Chris, how are you doing? This is Recovery Addict.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. What are you thinking today?
I have a question. I was watching a verdict on YouTube this morning before your show this morning, and when they pulled the jury, they said their last names. Is that something normal or?
No. What case was that?
It was a Terry Long case out of Georgia.
Remind me never to be on a jury in Georgia. That sounds awful. Generally,
I just wanted to jump in because I've never seen that before. Like, they weren't saying their first name; they were just saying their juror number and their last name.
Wow, I'm surprised they didn't just stick with juror numbers. Generally, you don't see that. And I realize that the case is over at that point, and polling the jury is like the last thing they do before they release them.
Right.
But still, I think it should be the juror's decision whether or not they ever
like
come out publicly and say, I was on the jury.
Right, and I thought, like you've been talking this whole case, juror confidentiality, where they don't want to show the jurors, they don't want to say their names, or I just found it kind of weird.
Yeah, that is very weird. I'm surprised. I'll have to, maybe if somebody from Georgia, we've got some people from Georgia that are here, maybe they can tell us if that's the norm there.
Yeah.
It might just be that courtroom. It seems it's a bad idea. What's the benefit for giving out their identities? Yeah.
True.
Not a fan of that one.
Well, you have a good day and enjoy the rest of your day. And
hey, Chris,
good luck
thanks for calling in.
The rest of this case, man. This is intense.
It is. Keep that bingo card handy. Thanks a lot, Chris.
Yeah.
We'll catch you later.
Yep, bye-bye.
Bye. Man, if the judge gives out my identity as a juror, I've seen that too, naming the jurors. Man, I saw that too. It was from yesterday. Yeah, that's bad. It can be the end when they confirm their verdict. Smile up. Sorry. That's when they gave the names out. But still, I don't think the judge should do that. They should let the jury decide. First of all, the jury does not get a choice, right? If you're serving on a jury, you don't get a choice to say, hey, I'd like to serve on a jury. I'll go ahead and put my name in the hat for that one. No, you get selected. You get called, you go down, you answer the questions honestly, as you're legally required to do. And guess what? If they don't excuse you for some reason, and they, and your number comes up before they've impaneled the jury, you're on the jury, and you have to serve. It's the law requires it. Okay, trying to get away from jury duty can actually bring legal ramifications on you, and so that. It's not something you choose. It's not something you're like, hey, I signed up for this. And because of that, I think they should get the right to be anonymous, the right to say, I will do my civic duty. I will be here. I will serve. I'll listen to the evidence. I will vote. I will, I will, do what I should do as a member of society. But at the same time, don't put me out there for the world to see afterwards. If anyone needs to be on drugs after this trial, it's the 17,500 RA subscribers. Thanks, Danny. Appreciate that. Other than Sunday, did Lewis actually interview LS? I believe she did, Rudy Patootie, but it was early on, way early on in the trial. Let's see. We have Lisa Payne just gifted a Recovery Addict membership. Awesome, Lisa. That one went to Jay Holiday. Congratulations, Jay Holiday, and thank you, Lisa Payne. Jurors don't get paid enough, in my opinion. How much would be the right amount, honestly? Grandkids galore. Let's put this to chat and have everyone respond. What would be the right amount? What would somebody deserve to get paid to sit through this trial? And I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about having to watch every one of those autopsy photos, hearing all the descriptions, listen to all the phone calls, watch all the interrogation videos, put up with the behavior in court. What's the going rate? I guess what's your number? What would you say? This is fair. This is fair. I'd accept that. DK says $100 a day plus lunch and lodging. It's not bad. FTW is going for a little bit higher number, just a flat rate, $10,000. I'll sit in there, $10,000. You have 6 weeks of my life. At least $20 an hour, says Grandkids Galore. $500 per day, says Micah. $35, says Hoppy. Minimum wage at least. A couple of us, honestly, were like, hey, I would like that experience. I have never been called as a jury. I've never even got a letter saying, come down to the courthouse, your number's up. You might be impaneled. I've never had that. I don't know why. I'm registered to vote. I do all the things, but I've never been on a jury. And I think I would like it. I have testified once in a case as a witness. So I guess for me, my number would be a little lower is what I'm saying. $500 a day, $100 a day. This case, $500 a day. Jerry would do it for $50. Employers should be made to pay jurors. Tower Hill Girl, I agree and I disagree at the same time on this one, because I'm a big fan of people doing the right thing because it's right to do. So personally, as an employer, if I hire somebody and they're doing their civic duty, I'm like, and they say, hey, this is my responsibility, I have to do that. That to me says, hey, this employee has good attributes, okay? This is somebody who knows what their responsibility is and is willing to shoulder it and do it. I want an employee like that. For me, it would be worth it to keep him around. But at the same time, there might be somebody out there with a very small company who is just scraping by, who is just barely breaking even, and has an employee that suddenly gets called up for an 8-week jury trial, that now they have to pay them and hire somebody else to do the work while they're gone, and then re-employ that person once jury duty's over, because you can't fire somebody because they served on jury. That was the one thing. It's like I agree with you, but at the same time, I don't think it would be fair to put a burden on
like
somebody
Maria
else.
the Russian sniper face with tears of joy.
1,500. Yes, sleuths investigate. 1,500 was Maria's going rate per minute. Who in the world charges $1,500 a minute? No expert witness in the world has ever charged that much. A 2-month trial could wipe many jurors out. It could. It is a hardship. It really is. What's the solution? How do we fix this? Is there like if somebody's found guilty and they have to pay a financial penalty, does it go into the pool for which jurors will be paid out from? Did we ever find out what she bought at Petco? If not, what about receipt, video, credit card evidence? It's me, D. I've never seen the video from Petco. And I think in many calls and many discussions with law enforcement and with Al, she references Petco video. Like, if you check the video, this is what I did. I think she tried to do something to be caught on video at Petco, and for some reason we don't have the Petco video. I don't know if their cameras weren't working or what, but I haven't seen that at all. Maybe it wasn't relevant and that wasn't brought in for that reason. But I think what she bought was outfits for her dog, 2 or 3 outfits for her dogs. Crim SA 22, welcome to the gallery. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Good to have you here. Let's see, the burner phone is quiet, so if anybody has any questions, they want to call in and be brave. I'm a nice guy. I don't bite. You're welcome to do that. We can take some calls on the air. You start making money an issue, and it can open many cans of worms. Right? If jury was a was like winning the lottery. So it's like you get $10,000 for serving on a jury. Then you get people who probably shouldn't be on a jury, who do have biases, who have an incentive to say, actually, I don't have a bias. Yeah, I can, be open-minded on this one and set everything, all my preconceived notions aside, because they've got that money dangling there, that carrot on the other end. So, Lori, I see that as well. That's a great point. Ba-ding. Oh, phone's ringing.
Call from
Tommy.
Hey, Tommy, this is Recovery Addict. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. I'm a girl, Tommy.
Wonderful. Wonderful girl, Tommy. Good to have you here. What are you thinking today about the trial? You might have to turn your sound down on your machine, your TV.
Deal with some of those people, but I wanted to let you know. Thank you for answering my text. I'm the person that texted you about I live in Lorson Ranch, and my house is the same floor plan as Vanden Way.
Wow.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. You did text me, and for you shared your experience that it was almost like walking into your own home, seeing those pictures, and
I can't even go downstairs anymore, hardly.
Oh my goodness, Tommy, I am sorry. That is
No,
awful.
it's life.
Man.
But anyway, you're doing a great job, and I wanted to thank you for your time, and I'll let you go and get on with something else.
Hey, hugs to all you out there in Colorado Springs. Just please know that we're here for you. Anything we can do.
There's a lot of us on your channel, sir. A lot of us.
You guys are great. You're amazing. We appreciate all of you.
All righty. Have a good day.
Thank you, Tommy. We'll see you. Bye.
Bye.
Man, Tommy shared that with me on the burner phone. I didn't know she was going to call in and share that publicly, so I didn't share it with you. I believe earlier, but let's see. Who do we have? Here in Virginia Beach, it's $30 a day, says always late. People miss work and possibly have to pay daycare or both. It can be a huge financial strain on those living paycheck to paycheck. Always late. I believe that the judge in most cases will consider the financial hardship on serving as part of his consideration for excusing a jury member. You should not have to have either the prosecution or defense use one of their strikes on a jury member because they feel bad about their financial situation. Okay, that should be a decision the judge makes and excuses them. From the judge's standpoint, it doesn't go against anybody's check marks. Judge is awesome. Checking in on them, though. Yes. The receipts and purchases were noted in court. Yes, about Petco. That's where we found out about the dog outfits. But I think, Eddie, whatever Letecia was trying to do there, especially involving her phone and setting an alarm on her phone for it to go off later, that was, I don't know what she had in mind there. She had a whole plan she was trying to hatch that involved her being in Petco. And it just seemed bizarre. I never saw how that was supposed to fit together. I'm watching my coworker edit a video. Hey, it's always fun to watch other people work. That's what I do all day. It was reported in court she bought dog outfits, 3 dog sweaters. Let's see, I remember in the Alex Murdaugh trial, the judge mentioned help or jurors. Do all states provide mental health help for jurors? Do all states provide mental health services to jurors? No, they don't. I like that the judge is mindful of jurors and keeps track of them. Testimony was that her dogs were in heat and she was buying clothes to keep them apart. It's very hard to do to keep them from mating. And she also found out that dogs had periods and she wanted some stuff for that as well. Jurors pay is equal to pro bono attorneys. Pro bono means they're just working for free, though, right? Am I hearing this right? They mentioned buying dogs. My union paid me my regular wages while out on jury, but I had to forego the jury pay by the state. That makes sense as well. You shouldn't have to get to double dip.
Call from
the Brown Barn.
The Brown Barn. How are you doing? This is Recovery Addicts.
Hey, how are you, RA?
I'm doing fabulous. What are you thinking today?
Well, maybe I've missed it because I've been in and out of the stream and the chat, but I know that the timeline has been a little bit back and forth about the actual day that Gannon was murdered, was unalived.
Right.
What are your thoughts about, all this Petco running and then back to the house and then sending Harley and Lena away? What are the thoughts about, like, when he was actually murdered?
My thought is it happened for me. It makes sense to say that he was that all that happened after he got back from when the truck backed into the driveway, and we didn't get a good video of him getting out of the truck. But I think it happened between then, because we saw him get into the truck and leave, and when Lena came home. So it happened between those.
That was not a very long period of time, was it?
No. Now the burns to his arms, I believe that happened earlier, and not just the burns to his arms, but I personally believe that him bleeding, he was having issues with bleeding. I don't believe that was related to his stomach problems. I believe those were related to her jumping on him, as she kept saying, I had to keep jumping on it. Him and I think that's what was happening, and he was having stomach problems from her jumping on him on the fire. But that happened previously.
And I believe somehow incapacitated during the errands of that day, because she kept saying he was laid down in the back.
Probably drugged with Al's drugs, the hydrocodone.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
And then I guess the other thing, in this confession video that we saw of her, where she talked about, she shot somebody that was in a cave, and then drove around with him in the backseat and heard him take his last breath. So horrid and morbid, but it did make me start to wonder: was that an actual truth? Was he in the vehicle? But then there was the video of him getting out of the truck when they got home.
Yeah, there would have to have been blood all over in the vehicle for that to happen.
That's true, and there was blood all over the bedroom.
Right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense. I do believe she heard him take his last breath, but it was in his bedroom, not in the vehicle. It's awful.
It really is. I mean, when you just drill down and really think about it like this, it's really horrible. But, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hey.
Thanks for everything.
Brown Barn, thanks for calling in. Good to talk to you. We'll talk under brighter circumstances sometime.
Yes. All right. See you in chat.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Happy Failure says, Recover Edit question, what is the S-curve that was brought in yesterday's timeline? Is it a storage unit, shopping mall, a walking trail? That was where they found the board that was in the garage that had Gannon's blood on it. I believe the S-curve is where she stopped and dropped his body initially, or possibly that was... I'm thinking the S-curve is where the body was dropped. Otherwise, it was like on the way to where the body was dropped. But there was a lot of vehicle pings that happened there, or in that area as well, and cell phone pings and things like that. Al seemed to know something was up when he mentioned dental records were for the body ID. That was before he was even back. Yeah, that's true. The body, Gannon's body.
From
Michael Wessler.
Michael Wessler, welcome. Hang on one second, Katie.
Don't want to waste my first call.
Sorry, hang on one second.
Something that's not relevant. Great podcast. Check it out, everyone. Me and Melissa Bartholomew love the show. Keep it up, Brandy and JT too.
Okay, sorry. Kyle had a super chat here saying, don't want to waste my first call talking about something that's not relevant. Great podcast. Check it out, everyone. Me and Melissa Bartholomew love the show. Keep it up, Brandy and JT. Brandy and JT do a great job on the podcast. Thank you, Kyle, for the support for them. They are fantastic. I love that you found them. So, Michael, tell me a little bit. What's on your mind?
Well, I am one of the few people that, I'm recovering from a TBI. So,
okay.
About a year and a half ago, I landed on my head. Constructing something, and as fast forward almost a year later, finally saw a neurologist, and he was surprised I was still alive. Wow. So I'm happy to be here, and happy to have found your channel. So one of I haven't seen anybody talk about it. And maybe I know everybody's like, well, why are they going down this path of neurologists and these doctors? And going through what I've been going through, my memory is funky, to say the least.
Right.
Definitely not what it was prior to my accident. And the other thing they check me out for quite often is impulse control. So, and if you, like one of the medications I'm on, my neurologist told me, he sent me an email and said, well, you're not responsible for any of your actions. And I joked back to him, well, since I confirmed this email, I'm pretty sure I can't get away with anything because there's proof that I confirm it.
You're right.
So, but I get if anybody suffered a few head traumas, which I have. I played football, rugby, etc. So I've had my brain rattled a few times. But this last time, it did something different to me. So it's interesting, frustrating, to say the least. Because I'm constantly like, when am I going to get better? And they're like, 3 years. And I'm like, so 6 months, right? And that doesn't work. And I'm pretty impatient about it. So, but just, I'm pretty certain, or at least my guess is that I think what they're going to try to say, possibly say, is because she has a lack of impulse control due to a brain injury, she could have had temporary insanity, which I think is a horrible defense, just because personally, if I did anything like that, I'd just say I'm guilty, because even if I don't agree.
Wow.
So
that is
all.
That is very insightful, Michael. Thanks for sharing that. I know Aaron McAdams in chat says, tell the caller I also have a TBI, technically an ABI, if he wants to chat. You've got a unique perspective, having experience or living through this right now, living through recovering from a TBI. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. Obviously we want someone to be held accountable if they are accountable, but at the same time, I would say if you are not accountable, that's why the temporary insanity, that's why that option is there. That's why the court system should not have somebody who literally can't remember or was not in control at the time be held accountable for something. So I appreciate that, Michael. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you for the time. Thank you, everyone else. I'm so glad you started this channel, and it has been fun to watch it grow and watch everyone do what they can. And I appreciate you and everybody else. So,
thank you.
Have a great day.
Appreciate that.
So,
all right, you too. We'll see you in chat. Right. Bye. Thank you, Michael, for that call. Let's see. Her supposed head injury was probably from Gannon fighting back. Yes, I believe she did receive some injuries. Not as many as I would have liked to have received. I mean, that's wrong of me, but I just said it. I went to Walmart yesterday and picked up some spicy maple bourbon pickles, and they were good. Miss Betsy, I love them. They are the best pickles ever. Dumb question, says Tina Williams. No dumb questions. If closing statements are on Friday, can the jury return a verdict over the weekend, or are they off on the weekends? Tina, I believe the jury cannot return a verdict over the weekend. I think the judge would send them home and tell them not to deliberate and then start redeliberating on Monday morning. I don't believe they're going to be sequestered in this case. They haven't been sequestered thus far. Holding them over the weekend is, I don't think that will serve any purpose. I just dropped my pen, and that was my play toy. I've been fiddling with that all morning. Let's see if I can grab it again. There we go. Got it. Okay. So yeah, if closing statements are on Friday, I believe we can actually have a verdict on Friday. If we get done early enough. I think if we have 2 or 3 hours left in the day after closing statements, that we could definitely have a verdict before the weekend. Otherwise, they'll get off on the weekend and start again on Monday. Let's see. Why didn't she have more doctor interactions? If she had this TBI, there should have been a treatment plan, a continuing treatment plan or analysis, or at least some medical records that show that. continued. I wonder if her stories were so mixed. She admitted she panicked and lied because Al wanted to FaceTime, and she knew she couldn't BS her way out of G not being there. Yeah. Okay, let me catch up with the chat here. If she has this illness, then why doesn't she have more doctor interactions? I agree with that one, Donna. Meerkat says, I think T did something to Gannon in Al's truck the day they left. T said to Al that Gannon threw up and it was on the ceiling. It was also said she washed the inside of his truck. I haven't heard about anything being found on the inside of the truck as far as associated with the crime. Maybe I missed it. Victim impact statements are going to be powerful, I think. Yeah, I'd like to see Al up there. Landon, Harley, Dakota. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. Phone's ringing again. Let's see who's calling in.
Call from
Eva.
Hey, Eva, this is Recovery Addict. How are you doing?
Hello. First time me calling, but this is pure. What I wanted to say, this is just pure speculation.
Okay.
I just have a feeling that I feel like she had been planning this for a long time, because even a few days or the day of he was leaving, she was already checking, Googling to like get a rental, moving out kind of thing.
Right.
Then he leaves, right? And then after he leaves, to me that was she did it on purpose. Like she probably burned him, try to take him out somehow, but it didn't work out and then she didn't know how to cover it. Maybe Gannon didn't give in. He said, I'm gonna say the truth. She freaked out, and she did what she did to shut him up. Because why she took his phone? Because I was looking on and off because I work, but I was, watching the show on YouTube, and I'm seeing that one of the when she texted that she was to text for him to text on Gannon's phone because she had left her phone. She left 15 minutes after. So to me, it was like all premeditated. I don't know, like it's just off. I'm a little confused. I have a feeling that all this she was planning on doing to Gannon.
Right.
It was not something like she just burst.
Yeah, it seems her Google searches. Those are telling as well, because that happened before everything. She started was searching things that were like problematic, days before this went down. So I do think she had this idea in her head for some time before it happened. I'm with you on that.
I feel like she was manipulating his phone so he won't speak to his dad prior. After the burning. You know what I mean? Like she was keeping him away from, put him to sleep, making sure when Harley got home, he was asleep. I don't know. It's just, and I could be wrong. Again, this is all speculations, but I have a feeling like she was planning this already.
Yeah. Yep, I agree with you, Eva. You're not wrong, I don't think. I think we're on the same page. Thank you so much for calling. Appreciate you doing that.
You're very welcome. Bye-bye.
Right. Bye-bye. Google search, how can I escape prison time? Can God help me? Yes, those searches were on there. Just crazy things on her searches. Just absolutely insane. I think she got mad, abused him by burning him. Then she had to cover it up so she wouldn't get in trouble with Al. Donna, I think you hit the nail on the head. My theory, she planned on leaving Al. They were having some issues. Then she burned him as punishment for burning the candle, and then flew into a rage because he soiled himself. Yeah, she was not a good stepmom. That's all I can say. I think she snapped. She made Harley say goodnight to Gannon. She's sick. I believe, Lex Luthor, I believe that at that time that Gannon was not dead, but he was heavily medicated, almost to the point of dangerously, life-threateningly medicated at that time. I think she started the fire hoping Gannon wouldn't get out. It sounded like he was wrapped up in the blanket. She went too far that Saturday evening to use the Petco story as an alibi, but her plans changed. Purely speculating. Regardless, she, as in my opinion, had to silence Gannon. Yeah, I think you guys are all, one of us is probably right. We're all on the same track, basically, on this one. Here's what we're going to do. We have an hour and a half before they come back from lunch. So if we wait 1 hour and come back, we'll give you everyone one hour to get some lunch, to take a break, to go out, stretch your legs, get some fresh air. We're going to have some very interesting testimony from Dr. Lewis when we come back. I'd love it if you came back and watched it here on this channel. It would be awesome. I do appreciate all your input, all of you who've either hit the subscribe button on the channel, become members, shared super chats, just been here as a lurker. It's been awesome. Thanks. Please come back for the rest of the day. We'll do that in about an hour. I appreciate you guys being willing to share your thoughts and call in and talk about these things as we get a little bit smarter together, because I definitely don't have all the answers. That's for sure. Buckle up, everyone, says Pamper Clamper. It's going to be a crazy afternoon. It definitely will. Let's see. I'm gonna step outside. I'm gonna check out the concrete that's drying and take lunch. I think it's an hour. We've got 1:30 right now. They come back at 3 Eastern time, so we've got an hour and a half before they come back. You finished pouring the concrete? Yes, it's done. It's dry. It still looks a little bit wet. It's like still got that darker color to it, but it's dry. It's firm. We'll be back, says Loose Investigate. Thank you. We will open up chat in about 5 minutes. So as soon as this one ends, we're going to open up the new chat. The first person in that chat wins the internet. And I will say, the winner of the internet today had the longest message ever. Did I give out the internet? Did I give out the internet today? Did I forget that? No, yes, I did. It was Double D. Double D won the internet. And the longest message I've ever seen winning the internet. And that's brave to type something that long. You could easily lose it in that time. But if you want to be first in chat and win the internet, all you have to do is click the subscribe button and keep refreshing the page when you're watching for that window to pop up, and then just have a message first in chat. Anyway, thank you very much. It's been great. Please, tonight when you go home, hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live again, which will be in about 1 hour. And then it'll give us half an hour before Judge comes back. We'll be ready for Dr. Lewis's testimony as the defense continues putting on their case. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good day. We'll see you later.